Sandra all the time is here with the cold heart truth. She's the ears and the eyes for me and you. Every day, everyone want to hear from Sandra. And every time on the air, she's getting better. Tell your sister, tell your brother, tell your mama, call Sandra in the morning and in the evening. They always calling Sandra. And when they start fighting, they calling Sandra.
That's right, folks. Everyone is telling their mama about the cold hard truth. Welcome to another episode with more truth-telling, more problem-solving, and of course, more tea spilling than ever before. Sit back, students, grab your tea and turn up the volume because class is now in session. Call in at 936-2626 because your voice matters. Share your opinion on issues that matter the most to you. Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. We are rocking through the month of August. Next month, Health City will be back for their regular slot on Tuesday mornings, bringing us the medical rundown Tuesdays. I know you guys miss them, so not to worry. They soon come back, honey child. They will be here soon enough. Look forward to having them on. It's always very, very educational. In fact, yesterday I had to go take Gigi to the salon. You guys know the drill. We got to get her all sorted out with that hair, which is all the way down her back now, honey Jill. It's a lot to handle. But the good news, Rocio left us, but we've got somebody else helping us out with Gigi's hair at the moment. So it's working out. And I went to get her hair done. I was like, well, I might as well get, my hair refreshed and stuff as well. And when I was walking out after that, I saw a man that I know. He's in the landscaping business. I was talking to him and I said, hey, how you doing? You're looking good, whatever, little pleasantries and stuff. And he said to me, oh, I almost died. And I said, what? You almost died? And he said, yeah, Sandy, I had heart surgery. And I thought, oh my God, did you do it at Health City? And he said, yes, those people saved my life. And I said, what happened? So he told me how he went in for a CAT scan, something else, not related to his heart whatsoever. And apparently while he was there, they picked up on something and they said, sir, you need to go into surgery immediately. And do you all know, he went into surgery and come to find out, he had some kind of aneurysm. I forget what they call it now. And the CAT scan had picked up on signs of it. Yeah. And so he went and did the required surgery. And, looks like they saved his life because he said 75% of people who have that type of aneurysm, once it bursts, that's it. They're dead immediately. There's no recovering. 75%. I thought, wow. I said, well, it just wasn't your time yet, honey child. And thankfully you had the medical experts on hand who picked up on whatever the sign was. And they were able to save his life. So he's like, yep. And I feel good. And, everything's all right. And I thought, my goodness, sometimes you're one step away and you don't even know it. What a hot mess. So good morning, beautiful people. Well gone. Miss Brenda was here nice and early. Good morning to Miss Brenda. So don't forget now, we have a little slight variation in the times for the show, just by a couple minutes. So we start a couple minutes later, about 2 minutes or so, and then we end maybe a minute earlier. So all of this is to accommodate, because congratulations to Bobo. They now have BBC News on their platform. So I see Miss Brenda was the first one in class today at 7:26 saying, good morning, everybody. Miss Yulene, good morning to you. She says she's listening. Damaris, good morning. Evelyn is here. Says, please, good morning, Auntie Sandy. Good morning to you, my darling, and good morning to everybody else. Miss Pat is in the house. Patricia Blake is here. Stephen, hey, we have not seen handsome Stephen in a minute. How you doing, honey child? All the way from the UK. So, Stephen, we hope that you're keeping well. And I know you guys saw that advisory, which we'll talk a little bit about this morning, issued from our government. If you live in the UK or you're traveling to the UK, my gosh, be careful, Caymanians. The world has gone crazy. And clearly the UK is no exception to the madness. Ooh, honey child, they are something else. Felicia Rankin, Abby, good morning. Yes, class is in session. Good morning to Marshall, Strong Will. Luis, is that a new baby that you have, Luis? I've been watching you post up this baby, and I wonder if that's your baby. Is that your baby? Oh my gosh, such a cute little thing. But at your age, shouldn't you be having grandchildren only? I'm just saying. There comes an age when you got to stop making babies of your own, honey Jill. Otherwise, you never get ahead because, babies are expensive. Caden on Instagram, Kmanar345. Trying to figure out some of these. Draken_KY. These are the Instagram names, honey child. They're always difficult. Jody Wholeness, that one's easy. Latina Ardienta. I am Valerie. Mad Squid. Jody Balloon. Yes, what a mess. Swaby Girl, hello. Strange from the 80s. Okay. Central Machine, Latoya Lati Jeans. Anna Julia. Marco. Dinero Liquid. Where do you guys get these IG names from? Island Boy, that's a popular one. Latin Queen. Yes, sir. What a heat. Queen Mamacita Goddess. Yeah, boy. Here, Big Dreams. You big dreams, you. Go on through. Johnny Banks. Lori. K-Man Lori. I see another Swaby. Cash Baby. Oh, my goodness. Fifi. Hello. Wow. Y'all got some hell of a names on Instagram. Mel. Hello, Mel. How you doing, honey shell? Hot Nick. Okay. Tosca, I see you. Hers is easier because she says, I am Tosca. Nice, easy name. It's Jacqueline. That one's easy too. All right. Latoya, back over here on YouTube. Luis says, yes, he is my son. Luis, he's a baby. Wow. You ain't slowing down none at all, honey child. He's adorable, though. Congratulations. Miss Sanya, good morning to you. Barbara G. Oh, I got to turn on the AC. I can feel the heat already. OMG. So somebody didn't want to sleep by themselves last night. So you know what that meant. I said, well, turn off the AC on that side of the house, honey child. That'll save me a couple hours with no air conditioning over there. But now I got to turn it on. Let me see here now. It's 80 degrees. And trust me, they feel like temperatures a little bit more than that. All right, we're going to drop that down to 76 degrees and see how we get on. Good morning to Vanessa Scott. Robert Ebanks is here. Vernita says, good morning, angels. Thank you. Miss Jean is in the house. Good morning, Miss Jean. Good morning to you. Olivia is also here, and tons more. We got at least 253 people over here. And many, many more. Marked as safe in the UK, says Mr. Good Look. Boy, Mr. Good Look. Trust me, what is going on over there? We'll talk about that in a little bit. Scary stuff. Okay. So my birthday's coming up this weekend. Just FYI, the 18th of August. And we do have a birthday announcement to make this morning. Now, some of you are still struggling with the channel, the concept of joining a WhatsApp channel. I see y'all struggling with it. Somebody just sent me no show today. I said, as always, every morning, I'm sending the links in the channel. So you just check your channel messages. So I'm going to help y'all. Y'all know already. I got the patience of Job when I'm ready. So after you click on you can scan the QR code that we put up. I'll put another message on social media today, so you have the QR code handy. You join the channel, you follow channel, and then the thing to do, because by default, notifications are turned off on channels. So what you got to do, honey child, is you got to go and go into the channel, right? Let me show y'all now. All right, hold on a second. Don't nobody message me on WhatsApp, please. I'm going to pull up my screen. Give me 1 second here, because y'all know when you start messaging me and the screen is up, everybody can see your messages. So don't send any messages. Just hold off. Don't send any state secrets to me at the moment. All right. So, all right, hold on. I always got to try to remember how to do this. I don't do it often enough for it to become habit forming, if you knew what I mean. All right, so I go there, and then I go here on the phone, and then I go over there. Let me see now. I think I do this screen mirroring. Yep. On-screen code. So hold on a second. Now it's going to ask me for that code. This is security protocols. I put in the code. Okay, honey child. And kaboom. All right, so let me just pull it up now. Hold on. Okay, y'all just hang tight. I'm going to show y'all in real time how it's done. Let me minimize this window, minimize this window, minimize this window, minimize this window. All right, so all you're going to see now is the phone itself. All right, look at me trying to get all tech savvy to help y'all. Okay, here we go. So see my phone right there. So, oh, it fell asleep. Hold on. There. Okay. So I'm already in the channels area. So to get there, see down at the bottom where it says updates, you click on that, and then it'll take you into channels. So now that I'm in channels, yeah, you go to the channel. Now it's not going to quite work for me. Let me pick another one. Let me do, say for example, oh, I'm clicking. I have to do it for my thing here. Right. So you go into the channel itself. So just remember, the beauty of channels is that you get to see everything that has ever been posted on the channel, right? So you can scroll up and go back. But what you want to do, you see that little bell right up there? Oh, man. It disconnected. Hold on. Wait a minute. It still says it's sharing screen. So where did it go? Oh, boy. Hold on, honey child. No devices connected. Okay. If you say so, because my phone claims it's connected, but the computer says no. Unable to connect. Why? Let me check the network. You got to make sure this thing is a little panickety. All right, let me try it again. So you want to just make sure you click on that little bell, because by default, WhatsApp has it turned off. So you won't get notifications unless you turn it on. All right, we're back. We're back in business now. Hold on. There we go. Okay. Let's go back to channels. Yeah. So you see how you can scroll and you can read everything that's been posted. And you see that little bell, top right-hand corner? Everybody sees it? Right over there, so? Yep. There's two little icons. One is for like channel info, sharing it so you can share with your friends. Unfollow the channel, that's how you unfollow it. And then there's that little bell. You simply click that little bell And now it says notifications are unmuted. So by default, it's muted. And then that's how you get notifications, because a lot of you are following it and you're still sending me stuff, which makes me know that you're not getting the actual messages. And that's why. Okay. So it's muted by default, unmute it, and it'll notify you of when you have messages in the CMR channel. So it's pretty easy. It's easy to follow the channel. I'll keep reminding you guys about it because we're funneling everything through the channel now. All of the website stories, everything, notifications, accidents, everything that you need to know all about, which is really, really important. So in the mornings, we send the show links right there in the channel. All right. Louise says, thank you, Sandy. It's my second one. Thank God he is fine. Yeah, like I said, you should be looking at grandpa age now, but you know, I'm not gonna judge you, Louise. I'm just saying, when you get to a certain age, those of you who start early, that has so many benefits because you're like done. By the time you hit 40, you can have a whole second life of doing whatever you want because your babies are all grown up out on their own. You're like, bye, don't come back home. See you later. Well, not Caribbean people. Caribbean people let children stay home till they're about 60, 65 years old. American people, not so much so. What a hot mess. Chelsea, good morning. Mr. Goodluck says, missed yesterday's show. Heard it was hot. Hopefully today's topic, that as well. You can always go back and watch it. YouTube and Facebook. Good morning. Buenos dias to Miss Alba. Hello, Tammy. Dee Dee in the house. Oh, Mr. George. Was I supposed to call you yesterday?
Let's go back and watch it.
Miss Andre,
Turn down the radio for me, honey chill.
Okay, yeah, I need to talk to you after the show. Can you call me, please? Something very important.
Okay. I need to make a note for myself.
Important.
I have a meeting. I have an online meeting. Very important. Okay.
It will blow you away.
Oh, geez, I'm peace. Here you know. All right. Thank you, my dear. I have some giveaways this morning as well. Let me scoot my little giveaways over. Okay. Thank you, Mr. George. I will call you after the show. And there was a Spanish lady that called yesterday. I was supposed to call her too, and completely forgot about both of them. So let me write it down.
Yeah.
All right. Call Mr. George. I have a letter here from CMB about an inactive account. I need to do that today too. All right. Call Mr.
Too much
George.
technology.
What was that?
I see you getting too much technology. You can't remember that.
Oh my gosh, right? I got to do it the old-fashioned way and just write it, put it on my to-do list. Okay, honey. Gotcha. I got it written down now. Thank you so much.
In the house.
Live Happy says,
call you yesterday.
yeah, turn off the radio when you call in too, because it's a lot of background noise. Live Happy says, oh no, don't go there. That sounds like a 10:30 show. Well, we did have a 10:30 show yesterday. So if you missed it, you missed it. But don't worry. Let me see here. So Shakira says, morning, Sandra. Are some of these posts for clout because I have contacted you 15 minutes after you post my ID? I think that's supposed to be ID and not idea. I didn't lose my ID. I didn't lose my ID. I left it at Hot Zone. I don't understand the comment. So why would we be posting about your ID for clout? How is that clout? People contact us. Let me explain it to you, Shakira, in terms of how it works. People contact us and say, hey, I found this item. And we post it because we're trying to reunite you with your item. If you don't have your ID on you and somebody else has it, I think you have lost it. That's the very definition of losing something. Did you leave it there on purpose because you didn't want your ID? I'm a bit confused by your statement, in fact. So I don't know what that means. You said you didn't lose it, but I'm pretty sure when you reached out to us, you were thankful for us helping you to find your ID. So what the what? Okay. So they contacted us on yesterday. at 6:41 a.m. saying license at Hot Zone Sports Georgetown. They actually sent it the day before. No, they actually sent it on Friday. So you didn't lose your ID between Friday and Monday? Because they still had it all that time. I was still catching up on messages. So I responded yesterday and I said, thanks, just posted it. And we posted at 6:41, you messaged at 6:20. And you said, thank you, really appreciate it. And that you'll collect it as soon as it's open. At the store opens. Oh, so can you please remove the post as I'm getting a lot of messages and calls collecting my ID? So you did lose it. I think what you're saying is like everybody's now contacting you. Well, that happens. I mean, you know, what we do is we actually update the post to say the person has been reunited with their item so that they don't keep calling you. So they should probably read the updates. I'll check and see if our page admin has done that. Let me message her right now since you're saying that and just confirm. So I don't think it's not that you didn't lose your ID. Okay, so I've let her know. She'll update the post. On Friday, not this Friday, Friday before, actually August the 1st, I was in the bank sorting out a few things before I was going on holiday. And a man walked up to me and said, Sandy, I'm so glad I ran into you because I have a wallet that I found during Hurricane Beryl. And I'm like, Hurricane Beryl? Wasn't Hurricane Beryl like weeks ago? And he's like, yeah, but I still have it. I just want to give it to you. And I said, no. People don't give me anything. So when they find stuff, I do not take it. I don't take wallets. I don't take money. I don't take passports. I don't take ID. Not going to take your lost children or anything else. I tell the people, just hold on to it because invariably, as soon as we post it, normally within a good 45 minutes, an hour, the person will reach out and we can just give them your number and you can sort out directly. I'm not really getting that invested in your lost items like that, right? So, because I ain't got nowhere to put your stuff. I be losing my own money, much less. So he said, yeah, I have this wallet. It has money in it and everything. And I was like, why would you keep a wallet all these weeks? Didn't just take it to the police station. No. I can't take it to the police station because, I can't be bothered with them. They're going to want me to fill out a report and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And apparently people are now saying when they go to the police station, they tell them to contact me anyway about their lost items. So they're like, So I said to him, hold on to it. I don't take stuff. And especially I'm traveling tomorrow. I don't want it. And so, yeah, we posted it. And within a few minutes of posting, his sister reached out and says, oh my gosh, that's my brother's wallet. And he had lost it during the storm. So he was reunited with his wallet, I'm happy to say. And it still had the money and everything in the wallet. He had money in the wallet, and this Good Samaritan. Angelo got his wallet back. So congratulations to Angelo. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. So lots of good people still out there. Good morning, Miss Lucille. She says, I'm in the back bench for now because I'm late. Love you all. Stay blessed. No problem, honey child. The back of the classroom is just as good as the front of the classroom when it's a virtual classroom, right? We all have a front row seat. Mr. Goodluck says, at John LaRue, it's because I'm not from Cayman. Would it have made a difference? I'm not sure what you're responding to. I don't know what Mr. Goodluck said. Oh, he says, Mr. Goodluck, thank the Lord you're safe. We were worried. Okay, I don't know what's going on between the two of you, but I'll let you continue that private conversation. Leanna's in the house. Inspiring is here. Sandy, I see you have a lot to talk about. I guess you start because the show is shorter. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. J.R.A. Taylor says, good morning, Miss Sandy. I'm from Nicaragua. Buenos dias. ¿Cómo estás? I contact you. Oh, I see, Shakira. I'm sorry. I totally misread. Yeah, I didn't understand what you're saying. So she says, I'm simply saying I contacted you to let you know I'm grateful for your post. Okay, I got you. Well, sometimes it's good to explain the process anyway, Shakira, because people don't always know how it works. So yeah, I was a little bit confused about that. But anyway, thank you. Miss Marva, good morning to you. Paul, good morning. Listening from Toronto. Hey, Paul, you're traveling. Nice. Not getting notifications on Facebook. Oh, that's because you're in Canada. So remember now, when you're in Canada, they actually have all news affiliated or news associations, or once you say you're connected to news, they have you blocked in Canada. So our Canadian friends, including the Maple Leaf Mafia, can't read any news stuff, which is like crazy. And some of them have even tried getting in a VPN, and they're telling me that it's still blocked, which is like really weird, because you should be able to get in a VPN and select like Miami or any other location, and theoretically you should be good. So I'm not sure how the Canadian authorities, it's not really the Canadian authorities, it's actually Meta, how Meta would be working around a VPN. That's interesting. So just recall, folks, this is Meta and the Canadian government having a fight, because the Canadian government flexed its muscles on Meta and said, we want you to start compensating our news businesses, because, you know, the news business isn't what it was decades ago. And very few news businesses are profitable in this day and age, trust me. And so they were like, you know, they bring readership to your platform, so you want to compensate us. This is a simple version of the story. And Meta said, what? Meta said, y'all crazy. We give news platforms and other businesses immense exposure for free, so we ain't paying nobody no money talking foolishness, you Canadian government. And so the Canadian government said, well, as of this date, we're going to implement this. And guess what? Meta said, we'll show you. So they've blocked. This is so crazy. Canadians can't get news on any media platform, like Meta platform. Isn't that bizarre? Like, what are you scrolling looking at if it's not news? Because most of my stuff is like recipes and news. So yeah, Meta did that to the good folks of Canada to send their government a message. It has lasted a long time. I must say, I thought they would have come to their senses on either side of this argument, but this just shows you that sometimes people are going to hold their position and they are not moving. So Canadian government hasn't conceded, Meta isn't conceding, and in between are the poor people of Canada who are like, we want to watch CMR, we want to get your news, and they're stuck. Barbara joining from London, hope you're safe. Miss Barbara, please be careful. Debbie says, good morning, I'm on the channel now. You're most welcome. It's fairly easy, just a couple little steps. I'll keep reminding you guys. Peter says, CyberGhost VPN works in Canada. I mean, theoretically, any VPN should work. So yeah, I don't know why, you know, you shouldn't have to pick a particular one. There are some VPNs that are better for other reasons, but for this, you know, in theory, they should all work. But there you go. Anywho, yeah. All right. Okay. This person says, I'm trying to get to the channel, but I can't. I blanked out. Okay. So just let me send you the follow link again. Because you can share the channel link with others. So sometimes that's just the easiest thing to do. And then you should be able to get it from there. You just click on follow and then turn on notifications. All right. Good morning, Miss Sandra. I'd like you to put out this for me, please. There's an envelope that have on Jamaica writing on it. What's Jamaica writing? Like it says the word Jamaica? Okay, maybe just clarify that for me. On it, it was on a car back. So the car drive off from last week, Wednesday. I don't found it, so please put it out for me to see if anyone could find it. A police record is in it. It is Damari Stewart. Sorry. If you can contact me, my name is Mary, and this is my number. Okay. So in an envelope, when you said Jamaica writing, does that mean it said Jamaica on it? I'm a little bit confused what you mean by Jamaica writing, so maybe clarify that for me. So you're saying Damari Scott, that there's a police record in it for a Damari Scott, but your name is Mary and you're trying to collect the police record? Well, who the heck is Damari Scott? Why would you be collecting somebody else's police record? I always have questions. I'm a questioner. Can you tell? Honey child, I'm always like, what? Come again? Mm-hmm. All right. Another person wants the link. Good morning, honey child. Not getting any Facebook notifications anymore. Yep. We just explained why. Just follow the channel, honey child. At least you'll see them there. And then you can they previews it. Oh, that person says, I think I got it. Thanks. You're welcome. Now turn on notifications. Turn it on. All right. I'm going to send you, because if you're not getting the notifications, you forget it's even there. Let me send you how to do that. All right. Making progress. Absolutely love it. Oh, yes. Good for you. Good. Goody. All right. Let's get to the meat and potatoes. That was just a little appetizer. So listen, Miss Dee Dee says, I think that Good Samaritan deserves a baboom. It's a kaboom.
Kaboom!
You can say baboom if you want. For his honesty and return the wallet. Thank you, sir. We sure do have good and honest people in our beautiful island. Yes, he was a Jamaican gentleman and he saw me standing in line at the bank. And he said, hey, Sandy, I got a wallet for you. I'm like, you do? Okay. You keep it. So they got all reunited. Thank you very, very much. Oh, Lord. Urban threads. Come into that. Let's get in it. I'm gonna bookmark your question because we're gonna come to you. Hello, Helody. Okay, so listen, couple of things we can dispense with very, very quickly this morning. When I was, this was a very interesting situation. When I was in Tampa, I have a, thank God for eSIM. So I have a US number now. It's an eSIM. I subscribed to his company for a year. I just pay it because I'm always back and forth. And what I pay in rooming charges, even though the rooming charges are way more reasonable than they used to be, it still is a lot. And then I don't get unlimited data. I just can't be bothered. So I just keep a US number. I activate it. It's easy to do when you have an eSIM. Just boom, 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 bam. You're done, right? So I love it. So as I get on the plane and I'm about to put in airplane mode, I turn off my Cayman eSIM, turn on my American eSIM, put it in airplane mode. And then when I get there, when the plane is descending over that beautiful city, I turn it on and all of a sudden 5G comes up and bling, 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 get all my messages. And I have unlimited data. So I can do everything right from the phone. No problem. I can hotspot it, share it with Marlon if I need to, whatever. So there we were sitting at this, our cousin took us to this restaurant. I don't even know the name of it, for breakfast. And it was a really cute little breakfast place. He's like, oh, the breakfast is kind of different. Let's try something different. I was like, all right, I can't remember what I had. Something with eggs and potatoes, like a mixture, like a casserole type dish. Good. It was good. They brought the hot chocolate. I was like, take it back. I'm a hot chocolate connoisseur and this is not cutting it. So anywho, I was sitting there. We were having breakfast. Then all of a sudden, everybody's phones went off. Bing, 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 bing. Like a collective, maybe there were 60, 75 people in this restaurant. Every single phone went off. And we were all getting notifications about the storm, Hurricane Debbie, that was heading to Tampa. And they were talking about, let me see here now. They were talking about potential flooding. So this was interesting. And I'm going to tell you why I found it interesting. Number one, when everybody's phone went off at one time, I was like, what is going on up in here? Okay. Everybody got the exact same text message. I can't even find it in my messages now. But what was super interesting about it is the fact that I didn't have to sign up for anything. Now, this is where I have questions and where Cayman could really make some improvements in our processes, right? So I thought to myself, wow, everybody got the same flood message. I didn't have to sign up for anything. This is fantastic. You know, I'm thinking about the NEM system that we have here where they have an emergency response. But in order to get that, you have to go through this little bit of a process to sign up for it. And I'm thinking, why? Why not make it easy like what they do in America, where obviously everybody gets it regardless of whether you have signed up or not? Something to think about. Emergency services. Every number in the United States of America, I can tell you, in Florida, in that area, got this notification. And I certainly didn't sign up for it with my little US number. So, you know, yeah, get with the program. Mello is saying, good morning, Miss Sandy. Did you have to SIM unlock your phone to use the US eSIM? No. Now, I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you, Mello. I don't know if these phones are even locked to carriers anymore because although it's not a physical SIM card, wouldn't that, I mean, I don't know how an eSIM is different in that way, but I've never had to do anything with unlocking or anything. eSIMs are easy. Listen, Mello, like, you know, we're going to go to a whole other part of the world later in the year and we're there for 2 weeks. So I'll get like a 1 month eSIM for that country. So I can still have data. I can still make phone calls and, you know, obviously not receiving Cayman calls because that eSIM will be off. But it really, I'll be available on WhatsApp. It makes your life so much easier. So it's one of those tech things that I've absolutely loved. I wish that Flo would come on the show and talk a little bit more about things like eSIMs and just all things kind of technology, phone tech wise, because, you know, they could demonstrate a lot of things to you guys. But no, I didn't have to do anything. I just activate it. They give you the instructions, the company that I use, and I activated a 12-month plan. And I'm good to go when I go to the US. Okay, so let's talk about Jordan. Yesterday, we posted a message. It was really an increase. I want to explain something to you guys in terms of how this works sometimes, right? So I'll get a question about something, and I don't know the answer. I don't know. But I'm going to find out the answer. That's what I'm here for. So I ask a lot of questions by just my personality anyway. So I don't mind when you guys yourself have questions or you don't understand something. I'm like, let me find out for you. That's not a problem. So I got a lot of people saying to me from last week, what are we doing for Jordan? Are we doing anything special for him? Is he going to be, you know, coming in, you know, to a hero's welcome? Do we give him something? Are we giving him a piece of land? Are we doing this? Are we doing that? And so there was a lot of questions. In fact, one person, let me tell you what she sent me a couple of days ago. She's a Caymanian now living abroad. And she said on August the 3rd, she said, good morning, hun. Here's a very important and hot topic. What are the Cayman Islands Olympic athletes awarded with from the government? And so this is an extension of that. A lot of people then were like, well, you know, they saw that Jordan was home. Why didn't we have a welcome event for him? Like, what's going on? You know, oops. Uh-oh. I spilled my water bottle. Sorry. I'm doing the, you might see me moving around a little bit because I've got an ice water bottle. It's filled with ice, but now it's starting to melt, and I'm rolling my foot on it to kind of ease up the tendons and muscles and everything in my foot. And the lid just opened up, and I've got water in my studio. All right, no worries. It's on the ground. That can be mopped up. So yes. So everybody's asking me, and I'm like, well, I don't know. Let me try to find out. I'm going to tell y'all something. The easiest way to find out something in Cayman is simply to post it on CMR. You guys Same thing with the lost and found concept. You lose something, we post on CMR, bam, you're reunited. So I do the same thing. I have a question on your behalf, bam, I post it on CMR. And next thing you know, I got an answer. I know what's going on. So not long after I posted the question, is like, I heard that Jordan's back. Is this true? Are we getting, something done for him? Like, what's going on? I got more than sufficient response so that I can now tell you guys exactly what's going on. Okay? So, all right. Couple things here that I think is important. There is an important discussion really about what athletes get. I'm going to tell you that it certainly varies by country what they decide to do. You know which country has a very, it's because he won their first medal ever. That is the Philippines. So first gold medal for the Philippines. This young man won it. We posted it on our platform. I'm sure you guys saw it. They have actually given him, I think, a house or two. I think a house for sure. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sandy. How are you doing?
Good morning. Not bad. How are you?
I'm great.
Good.
I'm listening to you concerning Jordan.
Yes.
You're right. Okay. I had a thought, and I was reaching out. Well, I did reach out to one of my friends in the official capacity of government, and I had that same concern because not only Jordan, but we had other athletes that did well. We had the Swanker band, who was away at the time, who exposed us in places like Washington, D.C., New York. I understand they're going in the archive now with music. And then just before that, we had the Virgil Seymour football team who went up to Minnesota and win the entire tournament. So there's so many things that we can be celebrating. And up until now, I have not heard anything.
All right. Well, I'm going to break it down.
But guess what now, Sandra? For me to get an event stage or talk about an event, I have to talk to two different ministers. You tell me which donkey that decides to move heritage from culture.
Well,
the two of them should be together.
Okay, if we want to talk about which donkeys did this, okay, because we talked about it when this new UPM government came together, we have to look at all the cabinet members because they all say that, they're bound by collective responsibility. So every single one of them is responsible for this hot mess. My understanding, however, is John was insistent on having culture. That's the one he has, right? As opposed to heritage, because in his brain, apparently there's a difference between culture and heritage that's so significant that he thought it made sense to split the two. Go ask John why.
I don't see no sense in that.
But yeah,
I don't see no sense in that.
A lot of what he does doesn't make no sense, but you'd have to ask
my
him.
proposal is we shut down Cardinal Avenue now that we got it decorated and the lights and stuff, and have a major event there, sponsored by the government. If we want, we can go back to Grenada or St. Vincent and Jamaica and get some of that money back if we short of funds, and have a major event for all the athletes.
All right,
including the Swanker band.
Yes, let me tell you how. I'm going to tell you how it works. So I'm going to tell you what's going on in this specific case, because I think specifically with this, we need to appreciate some stuff here. But thank you so much for the call. I'm on board with you. All right.
Okay.
Thank you, my dear. So every country decides differently what the athletes will be awarded for winning medals, right? So there's a whole list of this. You can go and check this out. Some countries give a monetary prize. Like I was saying with the Philippines, they actually gave him a house or two. I'm trying to remember. Hold on. Medal winner. Yeah, I think he got, his name is Carlos Yulo. He had a grand welcome. They just had this 2 hours ago. So yes, he got a grand welcome, and he was awarded a new home after winning 2 gold medals. So congratulations to him. I'd like to see what the home looks like, but nice. Oh, wow. This is a house. Oh my gosh. That looks nice, honey chill. Let me show y'all. I like it. Yes, sir. Modern style, which in the Cayman heat, do not build a modern style house. They don't do well here as heat conduits. I'm telling you. I'm telling you from experience, don't do it. So he was awarded a house. So every country will have their own protocols of what they're going to reward. I don't know that Cayman has ever set anything up because we probably never thought that we would really be contending for a medal. Let's just be honest here, right? So that's a question that I have for our government. What do if our athletes, because our government is always assholemus, as we like to say, if an athlete wins a medal, what are you going to give them? These are the types of things. This is what you call now forward thinking. We don't have to do it in the moment. It shouldn't be like every government wants to do something different. Set the policy, set the protocol from now. Because y'all see how close we came with Jordan. Next 4 years, he's bringing home a medal, y'all. Get up and give me an amen up in here, up in this classroom. He's going to bring home a medal. So don't wait for 4 years and be like, oh my God, what are we going to do? Yeah, we're going to do that. No, let's go ahead and set it down now. But this particular government isn't too good with strategy and policy making, as we can see. They don't have the best track record. But civil servants who are in the Ministry of Youth and Sports, chief officer, I spoke to her yesterday. Let's put some policy in place. Gold medal will get this. Silver medal will get this. Bronze medal will get this. If you're a finalist, because at some point you got to have a cutoff point. If you're a finalist like Jordan, these are the things that we would like to be able to do. And then you work with like the protocol office and y'all put a nice little package together and you work it out. You decide who gets an actual welcome home, ceremony and how to handle it. Returning youth athletes get it every time. Put it in writing. Just do a policy. It cannot be that difficult. Y'all are supposed to have degrees here, okay? Somebody sent you to school, most likely the Cayman Islands government, and paid for you to get an education. Now we need you to use those smarts and put it together. Having said that, it is ultimately up to the individual whether or not, oh, wait a minute, I didn't show y'all the home, whether or not they wish to accept this is the home that he's getting. I mean, it's a little box house, but hey, in the Philippines, this is like a little mansion, honey child. This is nice. So this is what he's getting. Congratulations to Carlos. Started training at the age of 7 and has been relentlessly pursuing his dream of getting a gold. And he won 2 gold medals at the Paris Olympics. And yes, the government there is rewarding him with a home. So he got a gold medal for his floor routine exercise and 1 for his vault routine exercise earlier this month in Paris. So congratulations to this young man. But you got to have a plan. What do they say? When you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Simple, simple, simple. Now, I'm going to give you all the details of what I discovered after that post yesterday. So the first thing is, let's have an overarching plan, something in writing that we can go to that's the policy for how these things are handled. Good morning, caller. Hello? Uh-oh. Don't know what happened there. Hopefully you didn't run out of credit. Call us back. So yesterday, after I put up the post, I spoke to people in the Ministry of Youth and Sports and Heritage. And I also spoke to Jordan himself. He reached out. Okay. Couple things that are going on here. So give me 1 second, honey child. Let me just finish this. So a couple things are going on here. Number one, when the ministry reached out to the Olympics committee, they were told that all of the athletes were going back, like they were going back to the UK so that they could then go on to school. None of them were actually intending to come home. My understanding is that at the last minute, Jordan changed his mind and he decided to come home because people are like, oh, they saw him at the tattoo shop. His Instagram has been popping. He got a tattoo of the Paris Olympic, the Olympic circles, and whatever. So it was obvious from people that he was home. Now, here is the situation though. Jordan didn't want anything done for him. Now, this young man is humble. He's like humble pie. He just, I don't know the young man, but I can tell you what, if I was his mama, I would be so proud of him. He is just a low-key young man, doesn't want any fanfare. He doesn't want a whole bunch of attention. He realized that he was the only one who was actually coming back home, and he didn't really think that it was fair to have something like just for him. So he also didn't want all that attention. We have to respect that. I'm going to tell you why. None of us can sit here and say that we have experienced what Jordan has experienced. Not a single one of us, right? Most of us are not professional athletes. None of us have ever gone to the Olympics. We've not competed at that level. We don't know what it takes physically, psychologically, emotionally, nothing to get there and to be under that type of pressure and to do what he did. So we have to now in this moment respect his wishes. So if he doesn't want a welcome home situation at this time, maybe he'll change his mind later on. Maybe he never will. We have to respect that. That's his own process. That's his own mental health, right? So I think that it's important that as a community, we not put undue pressure on this young man to do what it is that he has to do. Just make sure this is the whole package, folks. He's a whole person, right? It's not just in order for you to get in that pool, for Jordan to get in that pool and swim the way that you see him swim. It's everything. It's the discipline of doing his routine, of training, of, the diet. But a lot of it is in your head. If you don't have it together in your head, just like Simone Biles at the last election, remember how she walked off? Because she emotionally and psychologically was not prepared. It's not that her body couldn't have performed, maybe done something, but it starts here. And if your mind not straight, if you're not, in the zone, no amount of physical preparation is really going to do you any good. So I respect this young man for saying, hey, I appreciate all of the love and support, and I couldn't thank the people of the Cayman Islands more. However, I just want to come home. This is I'm going to read some of what he said. I just want to have some good home cooking. The man just want to relax, and he don't want y'all bothering him. So here's what I'm going to say to you. When you see this young man out, just give him a moment. Give him grace. Don't run up to him like, oh my God, Jordan, bring it in. Give me a big hug. I love you. Just be like, yo, respect, and keep it moving. So he said, thank you so much for your consistent coverage of my races and for your prompt distribution of content during the Olympic Games. I deeply appreciate the support you've shown, not just to me, but also to my sister, Jillian. Their parents must be so proud. They're so well-mannered. I would like to clarify the post made on CMR this evening regarding my return home. The decision to come back was a personal one, and only my immediate family and close family friends were aware of my return. I respectfully ask that my quiet return be honored so I could take some time to unwind and enjoy what I love most, fishing and being back on the water. Aww, little heart emoji. The Olympics was an indescribable experience, but after all the intense training beforehand and the excitement of the games, I really needed some peace, quiet, and a chance to enjoy some good cooked food before preseason training. I'm a humble and reserved person, and I sincerely appreciate the love and respect from the people of the Cayman Islands, as well as the wishes for a greeting at the airport. However, at this time, it's important for me to connect with my family, rest, and recover as I prepare for my upcoming collegiate season, which starts at the end of this week. So this man, his life, he's saying, listen, I still got stuff to do. I just need to relax. And he also went on to say, I humbly ask that we share the love evenly, as I was not the only athlete from Cayman who represented our islands in Paris. And I look forward to celebrating together as a team when our return timelines align in the future. Isn't this young man amazing? Oh my gosh. So he wrote a little something else, but that's it. Let's move on. Leave the young man alone. He wants to eat some good home cooking, mama cooking for him. He probably having a little turtle stew, maybe some kunk, whatever. He's out fishing. He's living his best life, and there ain't nothing wrong with that. Just let the young man do him. We were concerned for a minute, and I certainly understand the questions, because a lot of you were like, listen, yeah, is this a situation now where, like government dropped the ball, they didn't do their part, y'all were ready to blaze up government. This is not that situation. Okay, so big shout out to the ministry there of youth, sports, and are they culture, heritage? Youth, sports, and culture, or youth, sports, and heritage? I can't remember. Like Graham said, it don't make no sense how they split it up. But anyway, so nothing to do with them. The young man didn't notify them that he was returning. That was his choice, and he's entitled to do that. He's entitled to his own peace, his own space, whatever. Everybody's different. When you get into certain space of people knowing who you are, like a public space, and I can speak to this a little bit. I'm no Olympian champion, obviously. Nobody around here got no 6-pack. We don't even have a 2-pack. I'm in jail. But, in a different kind of way, a lot of people know me. And everywhere I go, I'm approached by people. People talk to me all the time. And there is a degree of it that can kind of be overwhelming. Even when I went overseas, I'm still running into people, and my daughter, she doesn't understand it. She's like, one day she said to me, Mom, are you famous? And I laughed at her and I said, I think it's more like infamous. And of course she's like, what does that mean? Because she doesn't know the difference. She's like, what does that mean? What's infamous? Everybody's different and everybody processes it differently, and everybody needs their own space. And I got to tell you something, that's why I tell y'all my list of friends is very, very short, because I do have this public persona and I interact with people on the show. I mean, the messages, it's constant. That's why when I take my vacation, I'm like, y'all need to ease up off me, because I need to disengage from this. And see, look at me. I come back so fresh and looking a couple months younger or something. You know what I'm saying? Everybody needs a break. Okay. And whatever his break looks like, that's on him. So respect it. I have immense respect for this young man and his sister and his entire family and all of our athletes, and everybody will handle their process differently. Right. And so, when I come home, that's why people like, oh, can I come and meet you at your house? I'm like, hell no, you must have lost your damn mind. People don't come in. That's my zone. You don't come to my house. I even tell the RCAPS, do not come to my house. If you need me, you just call me on the phone. I'll come to you. Because there's something about that sanctuary where I don't want you in my space. Okay. There has to be a limit, and there has to be barriers put in place for your own mental sanity. And I think everyone has to handle that in their own way. And in so many respects, even for myself, everybody thinks automatically, oh, well, Sandra is such an extrovert and da-da-da-da. You hardly ever see me going to like big functions and parties, because I'm kind of like a introverted extrovert, if that makes any sense. Like parts of me, yes, in the public eye and I do whatever, but boy, I love my own company. I love quiet time. I love just chilling with one or two people, and that's it. Like I'm not into I ain't got to be hanging out with no whole pile of people over the weekend and everybody coming over at my pad and being no. That ain't me. So respect, Jordan. All right. So if you see the young man, you might smile, do a little wave, and just keep moving. Don't run up to him. Can I have your autograph? Oh my God, can I take a picture? Whenever people ask me for a photo, and I get it all the time, believe it or not, especially from the Filipino community. Thank you guys for all the love from the Filipino community. Boy, they see me like a superstar. Can I take a picture? The other day, speaking of that, I'm going to post these pictures up. I need to do that. That's my to-do list this week. Let me write it down now so I don't forget. When I went to the opening of the new Health City, Dr. Shetty was here, and I got to sit down and do a little interview with him. And I can tell you that in the Indian community, this man is a legend. Like you saw from the way that they wanted to take pictures and stuff with him, how revered he is. Everybody, I must have took like 100 pictures with this man, because everyone wanted to have their picture taken with him. They were shaking his hand, and there's a level of respect from the people. And he was very, very gracious and stood there for what seemed like forever, allowing people to, shake his hand and take photo ops and all that kind of stuff. And so that comes with the territory a little bit. So whenever people ask me, hey, Sandy, can I get a selfie? I'm like, sure, not a problem. But I couldn't imagine doing this on a much bigger scale. Like people who are real celebrities can't go anywhere. They're being bombarded by paparazzi and this and that. Oh my God, it's kind of next level. All right. We're happy with that. Let's move on. So Rennie says that I wanted to get an eSIM in London last month. They said that they stopped using it as they had a lot of issues. Who said that? Europe doesn't use eSIMs? What do they use? Say what? How can you not have an because a lot of these cards these phones don't even have physical slots anymore. So what would you use in Europe? That doesn't make any sense. What the heck? They're trying to hold people back in Europe. Liana says, but government not supporting youths either way. You ask them. Lizette says, well done to our athletes. At least give Jordan one of those Tahoes to John LaRue. He probably doesn't even want it. I mean, honestly, this young man is on a different vibe. He doesn't have the egos that these MPs have that apparently Tahoe somehow fills the void. It's so weird. Liana says, how many times Cayman football teams goes away to represent and they do not support or reward them, making the athletes pay for their tickets and hotel fees? So let me speak to this generally, Liana. Again, I think that there needs to be some sort of policy and stuff in place because we have a lot of young athletic hopefuls who do go away and are often looking for the support. But I tell you what, I don't know that government can afford to sponsor all of them because y'all need to understand government does not have a bottomless pit of money. And yes, I agree that they could be more fiscally responsible in a lot of other ways, and they appear to be wasting a lot of money. But I think that honestly, organizations, the clubs, they need to have funding in place. So a lot of them be hitting up, everybody from CUC is a big one. The DART organization does a lot for youth sports programs. They have the robotics club. There's a chess club. There's a lot of youth programs available where young people have to be prepared to go away. Now, back in my day, if you were going on a trip, honey child, you got a little sponsor form and you went out there and you hustled. Everybody does the whole pageant circuit and they want you to give them money for that too. Government can't do it all. So I think that as a parent, when you decide to put your children in these activities, you also have to consider the cost of doing it. Parental responsibility, little Johnny, or little Georgette Ebanks wants to play football. Okay, this year she's going to be going overseas this number of times. You got to also think about how, as a parent, you're going to make sure she can do that, right? Make her go buy groceries during the summer to help earn some money for her trips. Teach kids how to work too, because there's no such thing as a free meal in life, and they're not going to keep getting handouts from government. So, go sell chocolates. When I was in the 7th grade, I passed my 7th grade when I was in Tampa, and that's junior high school there. When I was in the 7th grade, I was selling chocolates. That was my entrepreneurial spirit from then. I was selling candy bars, like I'd buy them by the bulk. And I was also going with my uncle to the recycling facility. I would go on the streets and collect bottles and cans and put them together in a bag. And then I'd take them and recycle it. And my uncle would give me the money. And then I also somehow convinced my aunt and uncle that getting good grades was worth something financially. So I only got money for A's. And I think I got a little something for B's, but nothing below that. And so all of a sudden, once I realized that money was involved, I was like, honey, child, we better get on it. And I started working extra hard to bring home those grades so that I could get some extra money to do, the little things, little activities, whatever that I wanted to do, or just to have some spending money. So teach young people from early on that they've got to think, you want something, the universe doesn't just drop it in your lap. Governments don't just drop it in your lap. You got to have a plan of exactly how this is going to happen and how it's going to work, and what these young people are going to do in order to, get money together. The Football Association, FIFA, gets money from the bigger association. So I am concerned when I hear people complaining that uniforms are not covered or this isn't being done or that isn't being done. In the past, FIFA has denied, the Cayman Islands Football Association has denied that they're not helping young people with things like uniforms and so on. They say that they're doing their part, but parents just complain about everything and that parents can't get enough. So I don't know, but it is challenging, folks, when you have children in extracurricular activities. It is indeed challenging because at the end of the day, that's extra money. You got to find for cleats and for shoes and for this and for that and ticket money and hotel money and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It all adds up. That's what I'm telling y'all. Consider only having 2 children because you can't really afford much more than that. Anthony says Jordan can't be given anything because he's still a student. Now, he goes to school in America. Yeah. What's universities he at again? I forget. But there is I know they were changing some of the rules around collegiate athletes. I don't know if it's gone into effect yet, but they were actually going to allow in the United States collegiate athletes to start earning some money. Yeah, almost like professional athletes. And they say that the benefit of that is it prevents them from rushing into becoming a professional athlete too quickly, because some of them do it just for the money, and other things as well. And listen, the bottom line is this: even at the college, and I would dare say probably even high school football level, there is money being made by somebody. Yep, people are making money when these teams win, and it's normally not the athletes is the problem. Okay, so let's do a quick little rundown, then we're going to close off this topic on what athletes get so you can have an idea. So there's a whole list of countries here that pay money for winning gold, silver, and bronze. Hong Kong pays the most. That's what Hong Kong. In fact, the Asian countries pay the most because we got Hong Kong, Singapore, and Indonesia in the first spot. So Hong Kong pays $768,000 for a gold medal, $384,000 for silver, and $192,000 for a bronze. Singapore is next, coming in at $745,000, $373,000, and $186,000. Indonesia, it drops down to about half. They pay $300,000 for gold, $150,000 for silver, and $60,000 for bronze. Then we've got Israel, the Republic of Kazakhstan is next, Malaysia, Spain, France, South Korea, all the way down. And look, the U.S. is almost at the bottom. The United States of America only pays $38,000 for gold, $23,000 for silver, and $15,000 for bronze. Now, having said that, let me tell you something. Americans tend to walk away with the most medals. Like, they're normally at the very top of the medal count. We'll see who got it this time. But you can understand if you got, 100 athletes all winning medals, and let me do medal count for 2024. That could be a lot of money. So China, okay, here's the medal count for 2024. China came in first with gold at 39. U.S. on their tails with 38. Silver, the U.S. had 42. China had 27. And then the next in line was Australia and Japan with 18 people for gold. So, you got to multiply that amount by 39 and 38 respectively. I don't think, does China give their people any money? They're not on this list, so I don't know what China does. So Hong Kong and Singapore definitely pay the most. Now, having said that, in those countries, and that's 6 million Hong Kong dollars, by the way, 768,000. They probably don't have a lot of sponsorship deals. So I think where a country like the United States of America is a little bit different is these athletes like Simone Biles, she's going to get all sorts of sponsorship deals now because of being the GOAT when it comes to gymnastics, right? She's got more medals than anybody else. She's set history. So, of course, she is going to get a lot of sponsorship, whether it's Wheaties. I don't know if Wheaties is still around, but I remember back in the day when Wheaties was big with the gymnasts and they would give them big multi-million-dollar sponsorship deals. So she'll get things now that will start to happen for her as a result of her Olympics performance, which is going to be her last Olympics performance. She'll be retiring now. By the way, her and her husband are going to be having a baby. So congrats. Caller, good morning. Hi, can't hear you. Hold on one second. Speak up a little bit for me. Oh no, hold on. Let me just, I don't know what's going on with the phone. Why I have to keep it unplugging. Okay, morning, my darling. How you doing?
Yeah, good morning. I heard you talking about government and uniform and this and that. I have a little grandson, great grandson that I helped in school. I don't ask government for no uniform, nothing
Well, this
at all.
isn't, we weren't talking about uniforms. Just to be clear.
No.
We were talking about
but forget about that. Forget about that. What I'm saying, every year they're sending this large book list for an 8-9-year-old child. They have to consider people don't even have money down there to buy food if you think about it. And every year, this everlasting book list, I have it on my phone. They don't need all of those things. What I want to ask, where they're sending this stuff, they're asking for untowel, like sanitary liquid, baby wipes, and things like that. I'm not talking about those things. But how many pencil and books and this and that those little children using? And the teachers are not even paying them no mind because they're not learning nothing. You understand? They can do better. Where they're sending this stuff. I don't mind buying what I can afford for that little boy. But what I'm saying, I don't know where they're sending them because they are not using all of those stuff every year. I don't know about other parents, but I see the list. He have a headphone, but I hope they find that headphone because it's $35. Pay for it. And I hope they find it because they're supposed to see that the kids pack their stuff when holiday is coming up and take it to the house. So if mine can't find his headphone, they're going to have to find it because I don't have more money to buy no more. What they're doing with all these books, Sandy, and pencil, and pen, and crayon, and all them things, what they're doing with them, there's not a way one child can use up all those things for one term.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen the list this year, to be honest, Miss Lucille, but I've seen the list. Somebody can send me the list. I have seen it in past years, and I've always thought it was a bit ridiculous. But thank you so much for your comment this morning.
I'm very upset about it because Cayman is rough. You understand? What about people that have 3, 4, 5 kids? Where they must get money? They can't even feed them. Government not giving them anything to buy food for their children.
All right.
Okay, then you take care.
Thank you, my dear. I appreciate it. Yes, I mean, listen, you know, when I was in the States, first of all, I was there for the 2 weeks of tax-free week. I was telling the customs officer about this, and he's like, oh, he didn't know anything about tax-free week. Most of the big states do it every year. Florida does it. This year, they extended it from 1 week to 2 weeks. So from like the 2nd or the 1st through the 11th was tax-free week in Florida. And so, you know, they had Walmart as you walked in. The very first section of Walmart was all the school supplies, you know, and they were dropping prices. Like you get your little folders for like 50 cents, all kind of stuff. And even my husband said to me, you know, Sandy, maybe you should do like a CMR, like, you know, do some kids sponsorship of stuff. And I said, well, everybody kind of does that. I mean, all the MPs, all of the wannabe MPs, this is the time now that they're going to be having back to school drives, and, you know, they'll do it for the districts that they're interested in running in. And they're going to give every kid, they'll get corporate sponsors. They're going to give kids backpack with a lot of supplies. But I have looked at this list, and I must say that it is, in the past, I haven't seen it this year, but I doubt it's changed. I must say that the list is actually ridiculous. It really, really is ridiculous. I don't know why children need that much stuff in a school year. Now, I can't relate to it because I'm going to be honest with you. My child goes to private school. And like I said, if I have to get a second job twerking in a pole to keep it that way, because there's a certain degree of nonsense that I refuse to put up with that happens in government schools. So we don't have to send, we don't have this list. This list doesn't exist. I'm sure they're making up for it for the school fees that you're paying. But yeah, the list doesn't exist. So, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I mean, mind you, she's got more stuff around here to be writing and doing all kind of stuff anyway. Her dad bought her, I don't know where he got this box of pencils from. I swore it had like 1,000 pencils in it. I'm like, Marlon, this is going to last a child for like 5 lifetimes. Like, she's not going to use that many pencils. So I don't know why there's so much, and then every year it's the same thing. Are you guys not having stuff left over at the end of the year that then you can move into next year? Like, why do they send this humongous list and expect you to send your children with all this stuff? Like, there's something off about it. And like I said, I'm not in it. So I haven't been able to sit down with our teacher and say, why are y'all doing this? Education department, can y'all understand why this is necessary? So I don't know. Tammy says, agree, caller. I still have to give my child pencils and supplies when he gets homework. I'm not sending any this year. Sorry. Kiwana says, it's not the government's job to take care of your kids that you choose to have. Use birth control since you can admit and identify that things are hard. On the other hand, I see her point. 20 pencils for one school term, madness. I don't know what, and the children are doing that kind of rating like she said. So I don't know where this list comes from, honey child. They pulled that out of only God knows what black hole. And it's like, have it make sense, because it really, really doesn't. So Celine says, just send what your child needs because the teachers share your child's things with other students. If that's the case, then why isn't the school, I mean, teachers, I know a lot of times have to buy their own supplies, but why not just pool everything together instead of telling each individual child? Because it looks like what's happening is some children still aren't bringing stuff, so you're still having to share it anyway. I don't know. Something about it seems a bit off. Nat B says this is why the annual book fee was much more reasonable than each parent purchasing the books. Vanessa says my daughter used her same school bag for 5 years. Evelyn says the pencils are no good. Celine says facts. Shax says agree. The back to school list is to cover those kids whose parents can't afford it. So they expect the struggling parents to foot the bill for their kids' classmates. Yeah, that kind of, I mean, I believe in helping, but that kind of don't make no sense. Y'all want to have an adopt a kid program where somebody adopts kids? But again, you mean to tell me they're giving y'all that humongous book list? What percentage of people actually bring everything on the book list? And what percentage of kids bring nothing that then you have to take from them and give? Like, I'd be asking some questions. Like, I want to know how this works. I don't know. So I see a conversation going on here about the SIM card. Okay. Good morning, Miss Marva. All right. I don't know anything about European SIM cards, but it's strange because what do you do if your phone doesn't even have a physical SIM slot anymore? All right. Liana says, because some parents cannot afford the supplies, so they share out their kids' supplies, plus uniforms went up on price now as well. Oh yeah, I need to go sort out school uniforms. Oh Lord. Miss Donna says parents of children in New York receive US $370 for back to school. That's amazing. The government gave back to the children. Donna, make no doubt about it. That might be the case, but they also pay a lot of taxes in the state of New York. So government doesn't give you anything for free. Don't even entertain the idea that you're getting anything for free. You're being taxed out the wazoo and then some. For you to be able to get something. I would rather not be taxed and not have to rely on government. I don't want y'all to give me nothing, but I don't want y'all taking any more than you have to. So, you get taxed on everything. Property tax, sales tax, income tax, go to the bathroom and fart tax. So, my aunt used to say, this is how she taught me about the principle of taxation. When I was very young, she said, you see that sidewalk out there? The second you step out of this house and you step on that sidewalk, you're paying for it. The government is going to pay to maintain that sidewalk, but you pay for it through your taxes. I'm like, oh, honey child. She said you pay for everything. All right. Urban Thread said, Miss Sandy, the MPs only give little school supplies, 2 books, 1 pencil, 4 pencils. But I mean, listen, that is better than nothing. You see, this is where, we're going to have to agree to disagree, because in my opinion, they don't have to give you anything at all. So it's not their responsibility. I'm a firm believer that if you have children, by hook or by crook, and hopefully not by crook, you're going to have to hustle and do what you need to do to allow your children to have the things that they have in life. I shouldn't be sitting back looking for my MP to give me anything in relation to my child. Nope. I'm the one who decided to have a child. And if I can't afford to have a child, then it is what it is. Buy your school supplies and start planning. I'm telling you all, I know that things are hard, but a lot of us waste money on unnecessary things. Okay? Every time you go sit down and get your hair braided for 12 hours, nails done, this done, that done, all those things cost money. Put that towards your school fees, uniform fees, whatever else you're struggling with. Good morning, caller.
Kaboom! You just said the right thing right there. Morning, Sandy. Morning to your listeners. Now, listen, I will put up with everything on your talk show, but when it comes down to this topic about school supply lists and what teachers are doing with school supplies and what other children are doing with their children's school supplies, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, I'm going to say to parents, each person needs to be teaching their individual child responsibility. And I'm not talking about wait until they get to high school. Start teaching it from primary school. Every single school in Cayman require a school supply list. Now, and I know because my kids have been through the private schools when it comes to A-levels, and I, being very involved in schools, I have sat down and gone through all the schools and looked at their school supply lists and all of this sort of stuff because I thought it was quite crazy. And I can tell you there are particular private schools here in Grand Cayman that they don't have a big school supply list because they'll tell you that school supplies are included into the tuition fees, which are extremely high that some parents pay for their kids annually. So there's a balance there, and that's great. Then there's some private schools that they have the list, but they don't put like a number next to it, like how you would say 20, number 2, HP, whatever, pencils and all this sort of stuff. But the list is there. But guess what, Sandra? The fact that you have private companies, you have individuals, you have government officials. In fact, I think probably most ministers know, during the entire summer doing back to school with all of these supplies, and this is literally in every district in Cayman that I know, with the exception of Cayman Brac, because I've never heard of our 2 MPs in Cayman Brac ever doing any back to school with the kids over there. What I'm saying is that parents have that opportunity where your MPs are doing back to school, and you can go and you can, and look here, and it's not that they don't just go into their own district. I know there are some parents that hop around and go to different districts and actually collect from the different MPs and the different districts or in constituents. And then, like I said, there are private companies that are doing it. There are individuals that are doing it. So there's so much school supplies being given out in Cayman, free, especially this past week or the past 2 weeks.
Like I said, all the MPs are going to be doing it. A lot of the wannabe MPs are going to be doing it.
There you go. There you go. But let's go back to the point of them teaching their children responsibility. I know this because I'm into the schools, very involved. And I can say this, I've had situations where over the past couple of years where kids show up, year 11, kids going in to do their final exams on the day of exams, and they walk up to us, our PTA members at John Gray High School is there with school supplies, or we're hustling to try to get school supplies for kids that are going into exams. Miss Marva, you have a pen or a pencil? No, sweetie, you don't have a pen or a pencil in the bag? No. So what's in your bag? Oh, my cell phone and my charger. Really? And I'm going to put it out there because I'm not going to sit here and make parents get on your show and bash and blame teachers and saying about teachers this and teachers that and the leaders and this. No, you have your child come into school without a pen or a pencil to go into an exam, but can have a school bag on his, and probably a very expensive school bag on their back with a cell phone and a charger going into the exam? Heck no, you need to get it together as a parent yourself. So you need to stop it. Start teaching your children responsibility. And this thing about headphones gone missing, half the time, nobody don't steal the children headphones. First of all, your child was probably irresponsible and lost the headphone, but that is not the teacher's responsibility. When you go, if they think it's easy, some of those parents need to go into school and get in a classroom and sit in a teacher's seat for one day. When our government schools, most of the classrooms have 30 children. If they think it's easy to sit in a seat with 30 different personalities and deal with, talking about packing up my child's things at the end of summer and sending my child home with their things, parents need to go into the school and help those teachers pack their child's belongings up so they can bring it home.
Hold on a second. Somebody said, preach, Miss Marva. Please give her kaboom.
Kaboom!
Absolutely.
Everything she's saying is true.
And I'm not going to sit here and have parents bash our teachers and we know that there's a system that needs to be corrected and there's many flaws. But I'm not going to sit here and have parents talk like that.
Somebody said that list is so unrealistic because this is what one parent said. He said, morning, Sandy, about 3 years ago, I Amazoned the list and decided not to bring everything to school. And guess what? I still have school supplies since then. There's no way that you're using 48 pencils.
You're absolutely correct, Sandy. What my daughter does every year, she did it just this past week. She sat down and she pulled all of her supplies down that she has had bought for her. And she sat down and she went through all of it. And she just come to me with, I think she probably gave me about 3 or 4 things. Mom, I definitely need this, this, and this. You don't have to. Every year, you do not have to pick the list up and run out to Foster's and be panicking because I need all of this. That tells me, and I'm going to say it straight up, that tells me as a parent, you yourself is not planning and being responsible to say, hey, listen, sweetie, let's go in your room. Let's sit down. Let's see what you have left over from last year. And even if the pencil is only half used, that don't mean that you can't send the child back to school with the other half to use it. Come on, man. They need to be realistic here and they need to stop it. Because I'm sorry to say, there's so much out there now being given away for free. That's our problem here in Cayman. It's because the parents themselves have literally become dependent on freeness in the Cayman Islands. And that's where I'm going to stop right there.
Thank you, caller. Honey child. Y'all love freeness all over, honey child. And it's not, listen, I keep telling y'all this mentality of, oh, the government can solve all my problems. Government, give me something for free. Nothing is free. It ain't free. You're paying for it. I think somebody's trying to call on WhatsApp, and it just only rings once. Hold on. Let me see now what's going on. It ain't free, honey child. Good morning, caller. Hello? 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 I think that's why is it picking up headphones by default? Lord Jesus. What going on around here? Hello? Yes, ma'am.
I understand what some of the parents are saying about with the parents supposed to go and see to it that their children have everything back home. I agree with some of the things, but what I'm talking about, I don't get anything from government. I don't beg them anything. I will try help where I can do. I'm only talking about the list every year. The children do not need all those kind of stuff. They're telling them about 20 and 40.
Well, I think we've determined, I do have the list here. I'm going to pull it up here in a second.
Yeah,
but I think that we've determined that list is exorbitant and they probably need to just review the list.
Sandy, I'm going to tell you something. I really don't want beg. I try my best. I don't go and beg. When hurricane is 8 sheets of plywood money buy, and government will giving them away. You understand? Because my grandson is down there. He don't go and beg nothing like that. You understand? We don't do it. We don't run out for everything. Because I tell you, I work hard. I don't have nothing. But I work hard and I try my best. You understand? The government giving away anything. I have my little water grandson that he missed out on everything because if he to go, they're going to take up anything you drop dead. Sometimes I say to him, they're giving away books, they're giving away voucher. Go and get it. You understand? So if you get the books then other stuff money can buy it. So I agree with what the lady is saying about parents supposed to go and make sure that the children things come home. I agree with that part. I'm not fighting down anyone. I'm only talking about the book list every year, all of these, what they're doing with this stuff. The kids are not using all of those stuff. And they have to consider the parents, they have to work hard for what they get. You understand? I can't have no more children. I'm 79 years old, almost couple months next month. Mm-hmm. You understand? But as a grandmother and a great grandmother, you know how it goes, Sandy. Mm-hmm. You know how it goes. You understand?
Yes. Thank you.
I'm not really fighting down no one special. Mm-hmm. You understand?
Yeah.
But when it come on freeness from Cayman, trust me, Sandy, you know. Try my best. I can't bother with the big. No.
Thank you, darling. Appreciate it.
All right, love.
All right, 9362626. All right, so this is a school list. One bag of thing, 24 number 2 pencils. Why? Y'all write with a pencil for 2 minutes and then you throw it down, or what? Somebody said y'all be buying cheap pencils, and that's part of the problem because they don't last. You have to keep cheap. The lead is cheap, so you have to keep, Are you guys allowed to use mechanical pencils in school or no? Anyway, listen, sort it out. If you don't need this much stuff, ration it with your kids. The parents who need, I'm telling you, every MP almost, I was surprised when Marva said the BRAC MPs have never done it. Well, that shows y'all how smart the BRAC people are for continually voting them in. Y'all need Jesus. That's all I can tell you, because they don't do nothing for the BRAC community, if you ask me. But anyhow, y'all keep putting them in. So that's your business over that side, but it's also our business because then they become leader of government business, wasting money. So I have something I'm going to give some of you all. I believe in having an organized life. So I have a few of these, and I'll be giving them out this week for parents. This is your 2024-2025 student planner calendar. So parents, planning your life and planning the scheduling of your children's lives is really, really important. So these are kind of nice because they do like the week of, like the academic week. And then you have over in the column, this week's focus, the week's goals, things to get done. So it's geared towards, there you go. That's kind of how the inside look. So it is geared towards planning your lives for, around your children's schedules and stuff like that. So you can put in all their little academic stuff, school terms, everything. And then you have also the month layout like this. So you can put all your important dates down, school breaks, and so forth. So I do have a request for the Department of Education. Someone asked me, hold on now. Please, a gentle reminder to ask education when new students will be notified of the grade and uniform. So this person from yesterday said, can you please ask education department when they're going to notify parents of new students with any information? We don't know what uniform blouse to buy, and they all have a house color logo on each of them. Miss Sandra, orientation is August the 27th, and I only found out from someone. Really need to know if these children need to go to the doctor. We need to hear from the schools. Thank you, Miss Sandra. So can someone please, from the education department, post that list somewhere? Where is it? Someone also said, amen. I buy school supplies for 2 to 3 years. No need for all of that. Somebody says, please, my sons have been out of primary school 8 years now, and I still have supplies. So maybe donate those to somebody else. Maybe that's what we need to do, like a school supply donation drive. I have a question. This person says, I questioned teacher once and was told that not all parents buy the supplies, so they share the supplies. Once I heard that, I limited my supplies and kept the excess supplies home. I have 2 and cannot afford to be supporting people who have no sense and keep breeding down the place. People feel entitled. Government is not a bottomless pit of money. My son was taking extra pens and pencils to CXC exams because his friends were constantly asking for pens and pencils. Heading to finals. Have it make sense. Lord have mercy. So this person says, I don't have. So several people said that they don't have a U.S. number, but they still got the same notification in Tampa, even on their Cayman numbers. So that's pretty cool. Huh. All right. Please give us Mara a big kaboom. Everything she said is true. The reason for so many pens and pencils is because students lose and lend their pens and pencils and don't get them back. They don't have to buy all of these pencils and pens if they take care of their equipment. Well, parents, y'all better start making sure that they ration the stuff, and you tell them you got one pencil that has to last you 2 months. And if they lose it, then, I mean, obviously you have to give them another pencil, but put them through the ringer. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sandy. No jokes this morning. This is serious.
Praise the Lord.
Every 4 years, you can get anything you want from politicians. I was going to my friend's house down in Gorse Lane.
Mm-hmm.
There has been a park that was designated because Chucky Powered, I think it was Chucky, he used to be the head of customs.
Mm-hmm.
He told me that that area was a park. I see yesterday and the day before, they were putting down fence posts. Now, if that's going to be a park, why do they have to put down fence posts? Why to keep the children in with barbed wire fence? That don't make sense at all. And it took 4 years for them to put down fire hydrant onto we call it. They come off Mount Pleasant and Captain Regional Drive, right in front of the church.
Mm-hmm.
There on Regional Parson Drive, they put down the fire hydrant. That fire hydrant should be closer to the residential areas. There's hardly any homes in that area. It should be better located.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that was privately put down, because I know they're finishing up a school, nursery school or whatever there across from the church.
Mm-hmm.
And the people might have put it down there themselves. I don't know. But even so, if this is government's fire hydrant, why don't they put down more, and why do they wait until every 4 years? This is election year. Monica don't understand he cannot put a blindfold over everybody's eyes. I voted for him. This is I voted for him last time, but I would.
Yeah, you're breaking up, Mr. Dexter.
I had not seen that man.
Okay.
That politician in the 4 years, and every time that I see Bernie, and the other day I was talking to somebody in Foster's. He came up and talked to the person. He came up and talked to the person that I was talking to, and didn't say, So I hope he's not looking for votes, and there's a lot of people that is.
Who did you say that was? Who did you say that was?
You can put down all the fire extinguishers, put down all the parks and everything. I'm not putting down the subject of parks, because we need that. There's a lot of children right in that area. But why would you put down fence posts? I thought a park would be either a wall or a chain link fence.
Oh, Bernie. Oh, Lord have Jesus. All right. Thank you, Mr. Dexter. I appreciate it. What a hot mess. All right. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Hello?
Yes, sir. Hello? Yeah, we're having a little bit of issue hearing him because there was some driving or something going on in the background. Anyway, I'll do some of these. I got a little stash, so I'll give out some of these during this week. So stay tuned. I do want to get to the thing with John. We need to discuss this. I've got the school calendars. Thank you so much to the listener who sent that to me. I also have Joanna Clark primary lists that they've sent. Yeah, I think, listen, somebody said that the schools put away the materials. That channel, yes, says no, teachers literally collect everything in the first day and put it away. They give out stuff as needed. Label things are given to all kinds of other students. What a hot mess. Figured out DES or the schools or whatever. Obviously, parents are not happy with the existing way that you're handling school supplies. I wouldn't send the full list of stuff that they're asking for. I'd send just a little bit. You have your little pencil kit, put a few things in it, boom, that's it. Let's keep it moving. Gabby says, order your supplies from Walmart or China. Be careful of China, honey chill. Might be full of all kind of poison stuff. I don't know. But everything's made in China these days, so there you go. All right, let's move on to John. So yesterday, you guys will remember during the show, I said that on Friday, I had contacted the RCIPS all right. So I contacted the RCIPS and asked them about whether or not they had arrested several young people. And what was the other question? It was a two-part question. Anyway, they hadn't responded. Yesterday, I followed up and said, hello. Oh, I said, yes. I said, did another driver call 911 in relation to the excavator being in the roadway? So from Friday at 3, I sent that at 3:30 p.m. On Friday, no response. Yesterday, they finally issued a statement confirming what we had heard from Friday. And I said this during this program yesterday, if you guys actually paid attention. I want to make it very, very clear because some of y'all, the level of gullibility of Caymanians blows my mind on a regular basis. We have to be the most gullible people in the world. We believe anything, and somebody says a little over here, and all of a sudden you're, oh my God, your mind is blown, and you change your mind. You see, y'all were judging John so unfairly, and oh my God, where? Oh, John, he's such a hero. Oh boy, I love him. You see why? Y'all are almost as big a donkey as John if you haven't realized that the investigation is still ongoing. I'm not trying to insult you, but some of y'all are gullible and or straight out ain't got no sense. Okay? As I said yesterday, I don't have any doubts because y'all as parents have a lot of idle children hanging around the place at midnight, 11:30. God knows why you allow children outside of your house. Let us have a coming to Jesus moment now, parents. How do y'all allow your children to just roam freely at night and you don't know what they're doing and where they're going and what they're up to? I'm just curious. Now I told y'all Aunt Lottie, she ruled with an iron fist. You wasn't going nowhere. You can imagine me getting up at 10 o'clock talking about I'm going out in the streets. My aunt would have been like, who? What streets? Who you talking to? You're not talking to me and you're not going anywhere. It's astonishing that y'all don't know where your children are. 11 o'clock, 11:30, whenever they went out and moved this thing, how did it happen? But that's a separate, listen, there's a two-part situation going on here. And like I said on yesterday's program, if the children did that, they should be held accountable. They should be arrested. And now they have been. The RCIPS has confirmed, yes, they have been arrested. Good. And you parents of whoever those young men, I'm sure they're young men, are, you have a whole lot of answering to be doing. Answering to. Okay? So, that still has nothing to do. Let me try to allow you in law to separate two different things. That has nothing to do with how John ran into the damn excavator in the middle of the road when he should have seen it. Yes, it shouldn't have been there. You know how many times I drive on the road and I see a coconut, a dog, a cat, an agouti, other things in the road that really shouldn't be in the road, an iguana. And if I run into those things, well, I have to take accountability and responsibility for why I'm running into those things. Y'all seem to think, and it's skewed logic, that, okay, somebody did something over here, which did create a road hazard, without a doubt. That's why the driver before him called 911. Riddle me this. Why didn't the driver before him who could call 911, why didn't they run into it? If it was so unavoidable, if somebody, in his own words, deliberately put it there so that he could run into it, because, yeah, those kids knew that here comes John and his big government Tahoe, and we want him to run into the excavator. But somebody right before him who was at the scene of his accident didn't run into it. How is that possible? That's because John was impaired in some way, shape, or another. An impairment can mean alcohol, drugs, sleepiness, on his phone, his hand in the Vaseline jar. I don't know how John was impaired, but I'm telling you, the man was not paying attention to the road, or he would not have ran into the excavator. He did not give his driving due care and attention. And so that part of the incident, he is still responsible for the accident. Every road user has a responsibility to drive due care. And when you don't do so, that's how you run into things. Now, nobody's perfect. Accidents happen. We all look down for a split second, and the next thing you know, you rear end somebody, right? Next thing you know, you're running into an excavator. I don't know how it happened. But take accountability. This is what I always say. You know, fall on your sword. Oops, I did it again. Britney Spears, I ran into a standing object yet again. And you need to remember, this is not his first time. This is not a man that you can sit down and go, well, you know, John is always a careful driver. He's got a stellar record. Less than 2 years ago, he did the exact same thing. Late at night, run into a pole. Does he have nepilarcy? Nepilarcy. That's the word I'm looking for, right? There's two NEPA words that are very close. One, I think, is with dead bodies. Now, it's not the one I'm talking about. I'm talking about the one where you fall asleep. That's nepilarcy. Hold on. What's it called? Narcolepsy. Yeah, don't confuse it with the other one. What's the other one? Don't even think about that one. I'm talking about the narcolepsy. That one, if he has a problem, because I do understand that he's actually on medication, and not for nothing, but there's certain types of medication that can make you drowsy. And you know, certain types of medication you shouldn't be mixing with drinking and driving and whatever. And if that's the case, you need to know these things for yourself. That's why I'm waiting on the toxicology report. I want to see and I want to hear what was in his system, why he couldn't have been paying attention. Now, the fact that we also know that evening he was spotted at Denzel's bar, and there was actually video footage, funny enough, taken of him and posted on somebody's story on social media, puts you at the bar. Hermes says, we call it the dropses. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Sorry. Yeah. Right? So if he has that condition, then he know that he definitely shouldn't be driving at 12 o'clock and 12:30 at night. And people like that, this is now where we come back to it being a government vehicle. I have a question. How were these individuals vetted? Like, just because you're a minister, did they check their track record? How many insurance claims they've had? You know, because again, they should not be driving themselves. They should have access to a government vehicle and just driving it whenever. So I have a lot of questions. I have a lot of questions about the policy that there isn't a policy, but, you know, they're creating a policy by their actions, by letting these people drive. So let me understand this. If an MP has a history of like vehicular, accidents and whatever, and, you know, are they going to now say, oh, well, you can't drive this ministerial Tahoe because you're actually a horrible driver for whatever reason. Maybe it isn't alcoholism all the time or being impaired or whatever. It could just be that you can't stay awake when you drive. That still means that you are creating a hazard to both yourself and other road users, and you should not be on the roadway. It's as simple as that. Let's talk about the progressives for a minute here. Okay. So they had their conference on Saturday, and they made the announcement that Joey Hugh is going to be taking over from Mr. McTaggart as a new political leader. Meh. Okay. All right. That's fine. That's them. But I can tell you that no system is rigged any bigger than that. Mm-hmm. I should know. I was a PPM member. I was not just a PPM member. I was one of the founding members of the PPM. Myself, people like myself, Denny Warren Jr., many others, not Mike Adams, Billy Adams. We spent countless time, y'all have no idea, sitting down, writing elements of this party's constitution, claiming that we wanted things to be fair and equitable, and there's a process and this and that. It was a complete waste of time. Why do I say that? Because you can rig the system. Nothing against Joey here. Nothing against Joey, trust me. You can rig the system for whoever you want to be next in line. Let me take you back in time. I'm going to tell you when that was done. Remember Arden McLean used to be a member of the Progressives, and then he resigned and he stepped down. You know why he resigned and stepped down? Because he recognized that the system was rigged. This was back in 2012. And this is when I really recognized it as well. So at the time, Alden McLaughlin had his eyes on the leadership of the Progressives. How it's supposed to work is it's supposed to go to a vote, and the people in the party vote on who they want to be the next leader. Well, Alden was going around ensuring that the vote was going to be in his favor. Let me just put it that way. Arden got word of it. And instead of fighting the inner workings of that monstrosity called the Progressives, he just walked away and resigned back in August of 2012. That's why Arden left the Progressives. Alden knows it. Everybody knows it. So we've known since the last election that Joey actually wanted to be leader of the PPM. That's no secret. I think we even wrote about it back then. It was both him and what's her name? Tara Rivers that had their eye on the position before the election, heading into the 2021 election. So there was a bit of, friction, if you will, in the organization because of this. So the agreement was, Tara, we can buy you out. You're easy. You're easy to solve because nobody in West Bay really wants you back in anyway. So here's the deal. We'll get you a nice cushy job at Walker's. The powers that be talked to Walker's, made that side agreement, that arrangement. They didn't like her in financial services anyway. So they're like, okay, we'll accept it. We'll take her. We'll give her a nice cushy job that she shouldn't have a problem fulfilling. She'll just go under radar, be quiet, go back into corporate Cayman, make $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 a month. She should be happy. Boom, that problem resolved. So she was willing to accept that deal. Then maybe get a little bit of bonus money here and there. She was happy to disappear. Because the chance that she was taking is that she was not going to get elected in any event. So it was a real risk. Joey then, on the other hand, he's going to continue being a professional politician. So the compromise with him was like, Joey, let Mr. McTaggart serve one term. He's going to be, Mr. McTaggart's a nice man, but he's also going to be easy to manipulate. So Alden controls the strings. Kurt Tibbetts is still very much involved in the party. All of these puppet masters are controlling the strings of these guys. Mr. McTaggart did his 4 years, coming up now. And so, as you can see, the two of them, thick as, brothers, I suppose, have been going on the talk shows together, whatever. You could see that there's been a degree of grooming of Joey to get him ready for the leadership position. Was there anybody else actually up for the position that was challenging Joey? I don't even think so. It's a bit, like I said, it's all contrived. It's all, y'all don't put too much faith in that it's actually like a real voting of a situation and you really put people's names forward. That doesn't happen. So congratulations, Mr. Hugh. I don't know what to tell you. There are people who are not entirely happy with his performance. As an MP, he is managing director of a lot of family businesses. Hughes Janitorial and Restaurant Supplies, the Restaurant Depot, Bon Vivant, McDonald's Restaurant, the Office Bar and Lounge, Hughes Janitorial. They say he's past president of the Chamber of Commerce, past director of the Cayman Islands Department or Tourism Association, and he's a member of Rotary. So I would say he's got his hands full, and he has been a member of Parliament since 2013. Well, good luck to you. I think, honestly, most people don't see any, there's no difference from one PPM leadership to another. We're not expecting any miracles or anything great to happen. And so the question then becomes, as it stands right now, this country is a one-party country. One party, which is the PPM. UDP, UPM, whatever they call themselves, UPM, they're not even a party. I bet you they've not even registered as a party. As much as Miss Julie wants y'all to believe that she's a lawyer and she follows process, I would bet $5 if I was a betting woman that she has not even registered this organization as a party, because it's not a party. It's just a group of people, MPs together, conveniently for now. They're not going to last past the next election. They're going to fall apart. That's going to be the end of it. Bleh. Oh, Johan asked if I am a PPM member. No, I am not. So I resigned. He said, are you still a PPM member? No, I resigned many years ago. And I'll tell you when I resigned, actually, because I remember it. When I was going to be doing this would have been 2009, or maybe a little bit before that, when I was going to be doing my own talk show, I approached the leadership at the party at the time. So it would have been Kurt Tibbetts. Alden was around. And I said, listen, I'm going to be tendering my resignation as a party member because I'm going to be hosting a talk show. And as the host of a talk show, I can't be conflicted in any way. So there might be things that happen politically that I have to speak on, even in relation to the PPM. And so the best thing for me to do is to have no political affiliation with anybody, right? So back then it was PPM and UDP were the two parties. And so I resigned under those conditions as a PPM member. Anthony says, what nonsense will there be for we the people with this party leader changes? The energy boss is the brother of the PPM leader. Where will the country be with getting energy under control? One takes direction from his board of directors and one takes direction from the people. That's second class. Whose head will roll? Well, I don't think that this is going to be an issue, Anthony, because OFREG, not the leader of any political party, OFREG's responsibility is to get the ball rolling when it comes to getting the energy policy moving. And they have still not effectively done that. So we're still waiting on that to happen. There's been some movements recently, but let's see what they accomplish before the next election. That's these boards y'all need to be looking at. So Miss Flora, good morning to you, my love, says some parents can't afford school supplies for their children because they're too busy driving Mercedes, BMWs, Audi, etc. Priorities. You can drive those things, but make sure your children are not suffering as a result of it. Ay, ay, ay. What a hot mess. All right. Is Juju still a member of the PPM? As far as I know, she is. Is their membership list open to public scrutiny? But I've been told by reliable sources that Juliana O'Connor Conley has never resigned from the Progressives. That's why I say that the government that we have in now, this UPM government, is a PPM government, whether they want to admit it or not. So it's kind of ironic when you think about it. People like Kenneth, who's had his back and forth with the progressives, you're now a PPM government. I mean, it is what it is. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. So someone says, it is my understanding that kids were actually still in the excavator and operated the boom and dropped it as his vehicle approached. That doesn't make any sense if we are to believe that the 911 caller called it in first. So you see, this is where now the pieces of the puzzle have to add up. So let's see exactly what the police said. Mm-hmm. Let me see. So the police say that 2 male juveniles were arrested on suspicion of carrying out a reckless and negligent act after allegedly moving an excavator and placing the arm in the roadway. Not for nothing, but remember when we had kids on the East-West Arterial throwing rocks and stuff at moving vehicles? And I told you, parents, the day one of those rocks caused somebody to have an accident and, God forbid, kill or injure someone, y'all are going to be responsible for that. And I told you, you better keep an eye on your children and be mindful of what they're up to. Mm-hmm. So they say that following an investigation into the collision involving an excavator and the black Chevy Tahoe driven by MP Seymour, police discerned that a report was made in relation to persons interfering with heavy equipment the evening prior to the incident, which were safely stowed at a location in the Anton Bodden Road area by the owner. On the morning of August the 8th, the excavator was further interfered with and moved into the roadway, causing a serious hazard. So I'm assuming when they say the morning, they're talking about after midnight. So again, but someone beforehand, it says the police said that moments before the collision, a member of the public who's traveling on Anton Bodden Drive reported that the arm was in the roadway. So that's not true that they moved it just as he was coming by. It was already there. And that is how this person was able to call 911 and say that there was an obstruction in the roadway. And then apparently shortly after that is when the minister ran into it. Now, when you go look at the skid marks, I think that the skid marks are very, very telling, right? So the skid marks means that there was some speed that was being done where he had to hit the brakes. Speed, in my opinion, was probably a large factor here. Good morning, caller. Oh, hold on one second. Still can't hear. I don't know what's going on. I think I'm going to have to just, after this show, I'm going to restart the computer and everything because I don't know why this keeps disconnected. Hi, caller.
Good morning. Welcome back.
Thank you, my dear.
Just a thought came here. In regards to these vehicles that these ministers have access to, can't they put a curtailment in place where because majority of them do have their own personal vehicles, I would imagine.
Yes.
Can't they just be allowed to use the car?
We said this yesterday. These cars should not be used for personal use, not at all. There should be a policy.
It should be a cut-off time. Yeah. Your the government working hours.
Absolutely.
From 9 till 5.
That's right.
You know, so that's what came to me. You know, they should not have access to these vehicles otherwise.
I agree 1,000%. Said it yesterday, and I agree.
Okay, but I missed that yesterday. So, but
yeah,
thank you so much.
No problem. No, I agree completely. And
yeah.
we are understanding that there's actually no policy. I mean, we spoke to Mr. Francis Manderson on yesterday's show. There seems to really be no policy surrounding this, and so that again is an issue.
Yeah, and you see, as I say, so much freedom, and freedom at the end of the day, it's really not free. Freedom costs. There's a price attached to freedom.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you, my dear.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. No, definitely. This, I mean, like I said, that this accident, and again, we're happy that Mr. MP, what's his name? MP Seymour is fine. But this accident has led to a lot of questions being asked about the use of these vehicles. Lots and lots of questions.
Well, I really hope a good thing will come out of it and put some sense into nonsense, you know?
Yes. Thank you so much, my dear.
Thank you.
All right. So, yeah, couldn't agree more. Lots of questions. Okay. So these young people, 2 young men have been arrested, subsequently bailed pending further investigations. Again, we're looking forward to the toxicology report, and the full investigation haven't been completed, which should include checking CCTV footage as well. All right. Let me just see some of your other comments. All righty. So somebody said it has what academy or house the child should be placed in. That's for Clifton Hunter. John Gray also did something similar. They sent letters telling you what year group and house the child is in. Oh, so let me try to find out if I can help. What school do you need the info for? Okay, we'll inquire. So yeah, I mean, I do know that John has, I don't know if it's like officially narcolepsy or what, but I do know that he falls asleep a lot because I've been told that even in cabinet meetings, he'd be sitting there snoring. Like he falls asleep and just starts snoring in cabinet meetings. So there's a lot of different things that can cause that. Some medications can. Sometimes just being physically unfit. If your blood sugar level, especially after you have a big meal, if your blood sugar level is high, I know a friend who's diabetic and suffering from that, and he falls asleep at the drop of a hat. Like you're talking to him, having a conversation. Next thing you know, he's dozing off sleeping. Even sometimes on the phone, I hear him snoring. I'm like, yo, wake up. I'm still here. Oh, Sandy, I wasn't sleeping. I was like, dude, I heard you snoring. So maybe there's a bigger problem here health-wise with the minister that he might want to look into. Go do an executive health check at Health City and try to get these things under control. Alcohol, I don't drink, but I think alcohol can make some people tired and sleepy and drowsy and stuff as well. So Philip asking, has Julie resigned as yet? How can she register another party if she's still in the PPM? We all know she will go back to the PPM or whatever group wins the next election. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that the UPM has been registered as a party at all. So no. Them Spanish girls will cause that too. They cause you to fall asleep. Y'all are so salty. We need to start using that commercial that was on TV in the 90s about, do you know where your kids are? Listen, I'm shocked. Like I see kids, parents in groups, oh, this incident happened 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. My kids went to check what happened to their friend who was in an accident. I'm like, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning? Your teenagers are not sleeping? They're able to go out of your house at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning? These types of things literally blow my mind, Leanna, because this could never happen. I mean, I hate to say back in my day, because I'm feeling like these old people be talking about all them young people, this or this, not when they used to be turning up the most. But I'm just saying, for real, when I was in high school, I mean, no, honey, child, that couldn't happen. But like I said, my aunt has a philosophy, which I stick by today. Nothing good happens in these streets after midnight. Stay your backside home. Leanna says, yes, people who fall asleep suddenly are most likely diabetic or other health problems. And that's one of the signs of being pre-diabetic or having issues with your insulin level. If you find, that you fall asleep very, very quickly, you should have that checked out. And that's just because, your blood sugar level rising and high and lows actually impacts your ability to stay awake. You become fatigued very, very quickly. It's insulin sensitivity. So, he may have it, and I'm hoping that all of our ministers are prioritizing their health, but who knows whether they're getting it checked out or not. Miss Ethlyn says, I wonder why the MPs need to have these cars. Well, we explained it yesterday, but let me say it again in short format. They all want drivers. The previous premier, which would have been Premier Panton, said no drivers. We don't need it. We have protocol, which can provide you all with a driver for official events. So they kind of most of them went behind his back, with the exception, I believe, of Kenneth Bryan. They all went behind his back and purchased these vehicles, and he didn't know anything about it until the vehicles started showing up. And then they claimed, that they found money in the budget when he was asking them all to save money. They just miraculously found $75,000 in their budget. And as it turns out, it's not that they found money, they allocated it from other things. So you know how y'all are saying, oh, we need to put more into youth sports and youth programs and whatever. Yeah, $75,000 times how many number of these vehicles are out there, they pulled it from other things. I'm not saying it was youth programs, but it could have been. Who knows? And that's what they did. So they're circumventing. You don't want to give us a driver? This is reverse psychology. You don't want to give us a driver? We're going to get the tacos anyway. We're going to drive them ourselves, wreck them. And then after a while, everybody's going to be like, oh my God, John is a narcoleptic, or he's taking, he has to take, his bipolar medication, or, he's sleeping with this Spanish woman. And after that, he's get tired, hence the Vaseline in the car. So we better give them a driver because yes, all of our MPs should have a driver so they can get home safely. So there's a case that's being built here, and I want y'all to pay attention to when this is going to happen. There is a case that's being built here for why all of our MPs should get these additional benefits of having personal drivers that will be driving them 24/7. And that is an unnecessary waste of money in this country. Make the protocol office, which they already do, have a fleet of vehicles, which they already do. They don't need a vehicle per minister, right? And then, they could go. Don't even get me started. There's a way for this to be organized properly, and that's not what's happening. You and your government vehicle shouldn't be spotted at no woman's house, at no bar, or nothing else like that. Because again, there is a risk of the vehicles getting damaged. Somebody don't like you, John, because you're not paying this Spaniard $500 for BJ, but you gave it to this next one. Then she get upset, she get jealous. She come out and throw a beer bottle and mash up the government car. Who's going to pay for that? That's why you don't use it outside of official government functions. It's too much of a liability, too much of a risk. Anyway, we shall wait for the remainder of the investigation to be concluded. We'll wait on the toxicology report. I was just very, very surprised at the number of you who yesterday were jumping to conclusions about his innocence or guilt. Because listen, I'm just asking questions. And I think because people ask questions, y'all get offended. Well, Sandy, what are you saying about John? Because you're asking questions. Yes. These are logical questions that would have to be asked irrespective of who the person is. The who, the what, the when, the where, the how, give us the details. But y'all up in your feelings. I told you, he's vindicated now. You see what I mean? He's not vindicated. He's nowhere near vindicated until that report file comes back. Nothing was in his system. No drugs, prescription or otherwise. They need to do a proper investigative report on this. So to me, this is just the beginning. Ms. Pat says inflated egos on full display. Philip says with the history of the PPM, I seriously doubt that they can find enough voters in Cayman to ever ensure that they'll be the majority government again. Well, Philip, the problem with that, as we saw in the last election, even if they are not the majority government, they will finagle a way to have a coalition government. And when you have people like Juliana O'Connor Conley, who all she wants is a ministerial position or to be premier, she will bend backwards to accommodate anybody who's willing to give her $50 million school and what she wants. And that includes the progressives. And they love to hemorrhage money. If y'all go back and look at their track record now, they were not the most fiscally responsible either. So, they may not get the majority of votes, just like they did last time, but they were bragging that they had put a government together, that they were able to form a coalition government. So they don't need, this is the craziness of it, they don't need a majority vote from the people to still want to take over the leadership position. It boggles the mind. So, they're willing to talk to people like McKeever Bush, because he's another one that swings in any direction. Once he's getting his ego, boosters from, he wants a secretarial position, Speaker of the House, this and that. And listen, although they wouldn't work with him this last election, make no mistake about it. If they need him in the last election, because he's the only man standing, the PPM will take McKeever Bush. They have no scruples, none whatsoever. And he's normally the ticket man. Now, I know he's been telling y'all that he's retiring. Let's talk about this before we end the program today. A number of them have claimed that they're retiring. Don't believe it. Juliana O'Connor Conley claimed that she's retiring. McKeever Bush claims that he's retiring. Alden McLaughlin says he's retiring. Barbara, what the hell her name is again? Barbara, oh Lord. What's Barbara's last name? It just left me. Barbara Bodden? No, Barbara. Oh, shoot. Barbara. What is Barbara's last name again? Oh, Lord, help me. Barbara. Oh, gosh, I want to say Bush or Bodden, but I know that's not it. Help me out. Some Connolly. Oh, geez, some peace. Couldn't even remember her name. Barbara Connolly. My apologies. She has also been telling people, why am I thinking Barbara Bodden? She's also been telling people that she is planning on leaving. Barbara not going nowhere. First of all, Barbara does not control what Barbara does politically. Okay? So if the powers that be, all right, which now it would be Joey Alden first, Joey and Kurt Tibbetts, tell Barbara to run, then Barbara will be running. She has no control over her own political life. And that's kind of sad, but I'm telling you all, this is how it works. Barbara might be the nicest lady in the world, but she does not have a political mind of her own. She doesn't make her own decisions. Even her decision to run in the first place was not really hers to make. That was Kurt Tibbetts saying, Barbara, go run, and this is where you're going to do it. I'm telling y'all. And that's why when I have conversations about how she's being used by the men, listen very carefully to me, in the PPM, and the fact that she allows that to happen. I don't know if it's a generational thing, like you come from a certain age group, it's a personality thing, like I don't know what it is, because none of them would be using me in the way that they've used Barbara. The fact that she allows them to use her, because ultimately she should be in control of her own life, but the fact that she allows them to use her is really sad. It's a sad indictment on all of us as women, and even just as individuals. You should be responsible for your own decisions. Nobody else should be telling you what to do with your life professionally or even personally. And so the fact that they can do that, it does concern me. And but what can I do? I mean, I'm she's a big woman. She's older than me. She needs to go some, I don't know, testicular fortitude or whatever, and tell these guys just to step aside. But, she seems to be content in allowing them to use her. And trust me, they use her in more ways than you can imagine. So when Alden has her, going out there buying presents for his side chicks, and he does not see the problem with that, especially since the two of them have had a relationship for many years, that's, honey child. I tell you what, as a woman, that would not be me. I don't care if y'all call it jealousy or whatever, but you're not stepping to me. I'm supposed to be side chick number one, then we can keep it that way. You're not telling side chick number one to go buy presents for side chick number 2, 3, and 4 and put it on my credit card, and then you don't even pay me the money back. Boy, you must want me to box you down. What the hell you just asked me to do? But, the fact that she would even do something like that shows you the type of personality. She obviously concedes to a lot. Self-esteem problems, child. All right, Desiree is asking about the Desire is asking about the DVDL investigation. All right, so here's what we know, honey child. Let me go over here because I think I have the picture up for it. Do I have the picture up for this one? No. Oh yeah. All right. I'm trying to. Eventually, I'm gonna be able to do like little slideshows and stuff back here. Let me see here. Control 0. So listen, we've got some suspects. All right, hold on. 19 people have been arrested. Let me see who this is. Good morning, caller. Not bad. How are you? Hey, Robert, what's going on? What? Oh, Lord. All right, you're going to be there today? All right, let me try to get to you. It'll be this later on this afternoon because I don't have a card this morning. All right, darling. I thought PPM claimed that they had resolved this issue. Made promises that not kept. Not surprised. All right, I gotta come and check you so we can highlight this and bring this to the people's attention. All right, no problem. Okay, my dear. Thanks. All righty. What a mess. Another situation they claimed they had solved. I tell you what. Okay, so a number of people, 19 people have been arrested in this, what could be, I can't remember how many people were arrested with the immigration language test fraud thing. This could be the biggest fraud case, I'm not sure yet. It's either going to be number 1 or number 2 in terms of the biggest cases brought. I hope the DPP's office has their ish together because, it takes a lot to charge all these people and to bring these cases forward to prosecution. But let me tell you what we know, what I know, I should say. And I knew about it before I knew that I was told it was going to be more than this. So I don't know if there's like a part 2, because somebody told me it was like 30 something people or something, like as a much bigger number. So I'm not sure if more people are going to be charged. And this is like part 1 of the charging. But this is what we know that's going on. So remember that we had, let me just pull up the story here. We had 3 guys arrested recently. One of them, his name is Chin. I'm told that he's actually, somebody was telling me who his mommy is. But anyway, hold on, let me get his first name. What's his first name? Something Chin. What his first name is again? Hold on. We just did this story recently. Oh, hold on. It's probably linked in the other story. Give me 1 second. All right. So his name is, hold on 1 second. Let me pull up the story. Anyway, all of these people are really connecting. Mark Edward Chin. Here we go. So he and 2 others just earlier last month, July 16th, were charged with corruption charges, right? Now he is facing the more serious charges. So Chin, who's a former public officer of Newlands, is charged with breach of trust, contrary to Section 13 of the Anti-Corruption Act, fraud in the government, and conspiracy to commit fraud in the government, and misconduct in a public office. Then there was this other guy, what's his name? Shamar Peeble Basil and Kieran Watler. So they're all charged. Chin seems to have been the ringleader of this situation. unfortunately for him. So my understanding, Desire, is that what was happening is that people were going to Chin, and he was allowing them for like $350 or $400 or $500, some amount of money. He was allowing them to get vehicles passed that should have never been passed. So say, for example, okay, oh man, I know my light is busted, my tire not working, this and that. If I take it to licensing, it's not going to get passed. So, hey, Chin, do me a little blight here, help me out. I'm your brethren, your sisterin. And so and when you think about the implications of this, is actually a very serious allegation, because it is alleged that he was allowing non-road-worthy vehicles to be on our roads. That's crazy. It's no wonder we're having so many accidents and so many fatalities. Who knows? I start to think about this. Remember that Takata recall, the airbag thing that killed the doctor? Is that one of those situations where the owner of that vehicle called up Chin or somebody else and got it passed, knowing that DVDL wouldn't have passed it because the airbag hadn't been sorted out? Don't take these things lightly, folks. This is real-ish. Right? So at the end of the day, passing non-roadworthy vehicles is a detriment to all of us on our roadway. And if Chin was doing this and all these other people are doing this, they deserve every bit of what is coming their way. Now, I had somebody over the weekend, oh, Sandy, they're catching up some good, fine young people in this. I'm sorry, but we're going to have to agree to disagree. They're not got no record. Their parents, it's not. I said, yeah, they made a poor decision. That doesn't mean they're fine young people. If you're having to do this under the table to keep your vehicle on the roadway, you're jeopardizing people's lives. Why would you do that? Why would Chin do it? And why would all these supposedly upstanding people, now their life is going to be ruined. The DPP shouldn't go after them. Really? I don't agree with that. If they did it and the DPP has a case and they can prove it, then they should face the consequences of their actions. Even if it was one poor decision, sometimes one poor decision lands you in jail for a very long time, and it is what it is. You got to take the consequences. So it is unfortunate. I don't know most of these people on here, really. I'm going to be honest with you. But I know one that I don't feel no way about. This one here, DJ, what his name is again? The one there with the tattoo. DJ Glenn Roy, whatever his name is. I'm glad to see him on this list. Now, I don't normally rejoice over people's situations, but DJ Glenn is a very serious offender who has gotten away with a lot. Go speak to his rape victims. Just because he drugged her, the police weren't able to do anything about it. But I sat down, I listened to the story. I read the messages. I saw his response. I saw the things that he was saying to the mother and the daughter. And I don't have any doubts that he drugged this girl and sexually assaulted her. So he's on the list. I said, it's so funny. As them old people say, you can do what you want, but not for as long as you want, because time longer than rope, and eventually it's going to catch up with you. Now, one of the faces on here that's shocking is a politician's brother, Christopher Wright. What is Christopher doing on here? Well, y'all just heard me say that time longer than rope. Yeah. I got to tell y'all a little something. And I want y'all to pay very, very close attention to what I'm going to tell you. Go and speak to young boys down in Windsor Park about Christopher. I ain't saying no more than that. A lot of them. And some have spoken out publicly about it too. Go ask them about the twin named Christopher and what his track record is when it comes to dealing with young underage boys down in Windsor Park. I remember some years ago, I'm going to say this and then I'm going to end the show. Some years ago, when the government had me arrested and charged with this thing with the Nation Building Fund, which is Just so ridiculous. Court ended up throwing it out. The judge instructed Georgia to throw out the charges. I was commenting on something on Facebook, and the twins jumped in the conversation. And y'all know, honey child, certain conversations and certain things you just don't say to me because you're going to see a different side of Auntie now. And they jumped in. Oh, you, this, and that, because they defend PPM to the core, man, to the core, no matter what PPM doing. And they jump in and, oh, you a thief and this and that because this case. And I said, oh, hold on here, honey child. I said, let me tell you one fucking thing. This is George Tanner coming out. No, the ignorant George Tanner. I said, let me tell you one fucking thing. I'm not no thief. Okay. However, I would rather be called a thief than to be a child molester like some people up in these comment section yet today. Just like that, I tell them. And what can I tell you? That day, I got unfriended on social media, and I never hear one peep, not even a from these people again. I tell them, I said, don't draw me out, because I know too many of your alleged victims. Some of them had to run all the way to the UK and try to live their lives after being victims of sexual molestation right there in Windsor Park. So y'all need to go take several seats and don't come for Auntie Sandy talking about I stole from no government when I never did. But you a fucking child molester. So let's get it straight now. You've ruined more than enough lives with your child molestation and playing these young boys full of alcohol and promising them jobs so you could have access to them. And you know what the worst part of the story is? Good grandparents and parents down in Windsor Park knew what was going on. Talking about a real scourge on our community. You all well knew what was happening. And you would send your little boys, because now they're big adult men and they come to me telling me their stories. Oh, Sandy, my uncle was molested and I was molested and I didn't know. And when my granny, when I was going to get a little job, because, they offer you jobs to bring you in. Oh, come work for us in our family businesses. This, that. Granny talking about, little Johnny, you just be careful, you hear? Johnny didn't know what that meant. Johnny didn't know. You be careful, you hear? But Granny knew of the reputation of people in the community, and that was the best warning she could give a little boy. Must be careful. Y'all answer me this question. How the fuck is a little boy 8, 9, 10 years old, even 11, 12 years old? How is he supposed to be careful, you hear? How is he supposed to protect himself against pedophiles who have an MO, taking pictures of these young boys, plying them with alcohol so that they can have their way? How you think that's supposed to click in the little boy's head? How he's supposed to need what? So I blame the parents and the grandparents in these communities who have known what's been going on and sending their children. The children come, Granny, can I take this little job? Yeah, you just be careful, you hear? Why would you do that? Why would you allow your children to be around people like that? Talking about, give them a little job. When you had the uncle was molested, the nephew was molested, next one molested. But no, we live in a community that nobody ain't gonna talk about these things. I got. Hold on now. Let me go back a little bit. I remember when Noel spoke about it, because Noel Kayaso was publicly speaking about his own abuse allegations against the same person I'm talking about. Now, everybody has to process their own situation, but I must tell you, he said that he went to the police and he did a speech at the college, right? talked about it, and said that police told him, nope, the statute of limitation done run out, nothing we can do, we can't help you, blah, 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 blah. So they claimed. Now, the only thing that surprised me with Noel, because I believed his story, was when during the election, he turns around and supports family members of said person. I'm like, Bobo, what going on here? Have you forgotten us sitting on the same platform and you talking about being abused? Y'all Caymanians different, boy. I heard a story yesterday about another former politician whose daughter at the age of 14 was having sex with a big time man who works in telecom. I was shocked when I heard that story yesterday. And I was like, wait a minute. You mean tell me that her papa didn't go grab that man and beat the shit out of him? No. They were just spoiling her and this and that. And I was like, whoa, Caymanians are different, man. Y'all know people molesting your children. You think I can have a 14-year-old daughter and any big man gonna be coming up in my house or anybody's house having sex with my daughter and I not gonna bust your fucking ass? You better think again. That's the one. I don't believe in physical violence, but that is the one day that somebody going to jail. Because if police don't get you first, I'm gonna listen. No, sir. But y'all just like turn a blind eye to these things. I'm just like, whoa. How do y'all do it? I don't understand. It's different. It is really, really, really different. I mean, I see big fathers, you know, like, yeah, they have all girls, like you're not gonna mess with their girls. And then their children get molested and they do nothing. They don't even speak on it. I'm like, yo, not me, Titi. Not today, Bobo. I'm sorry, but I don't even want to think about it. It's so disgusting. I don't even want to think about it. Needless to say, I would go ape shit and somebody getting their fucking ass. Somebody getting a whooping. I would gladly go northward. Or not northward, Fairbanks. I'd pack my bag and be waiting to go Fairbanks after I tap you a couple good times. Y'all need to start protecting your children. Speak out on their behalf. Advocate on their behalf. Stop turning a blind eye. Stop sending them into the lion's den. Talking about, be careful, your hair. Your children can't help themselves. They need to be protected from these predators. And I hate to say it, but our own people, Caymanians, are predators. And you know, the sad thing about it is children who have been victims themselves become predators. So y'all need to be very, very careful. Protect your children. Protect other people's children. If you see something, say something. We need a change in terms of this. The day that we get a sexual offenders registry, you know, so many of your family members might end up on it, but so be it. Why would you protect people like that? I don't care if they're family or not. Out them, expose them. Lord Jesus, we need something. Unapologetic says, well, isn't it ironic that this sounds like the same situation to degree of the immigration officers with the so-called immigration ELT some years ago? Yeah, same fraud. Let's see what's going to happen with these people now that happened to them officers. Make sure to keep the same energy with them as you did with those persons and looking for photos. Well, I'm pretty sure we didn't have any kind of energy for those people. Any kind of different energy. Fraud on the government is fraud on the government. In fact, I think a lot of those people, let me see, when was that case again? A lot of those people got off easy because we probably couldn't find them in terms of their pictures. Let me see, when was that? Yes, a lot of them probably got off easier, but I'll tell you what. The energy is the same when you operate a fraud in the government. English language. I'm trying to remember when that was. It's been a minute now. I can't remember if CMR was really around then, if it was at the beginning. I think it might have been kind of, because back in 2019, WRC decided that they weren't going to do the English test anymore. They appealed. Okay, Ireland's largest fraud case concludes with 9 convictions. That was back in 2019. So they were found guilty back in February. Yeah, so we were around. And yeah, we had a whole list of who they were, but none of their pictures. So you can't say, ironically enough, you can't say that we had any more energy for them, because in fact, the evidence would prove otherwise if you're talking about pictures, because not a single one of them had their pictures up, probably because we couldn't find them at the point that we started reporting on it. Because remember, these things go on for years. So we just have a name list. Marcus Alexander, Carrie Ann Forbes, so on and so forth. Phaedra, she's now passed away. So the name list is here, but we never had any pictures. So you can't argue that our energy is any different or any less than what it is now. In fact, you might be able to argue the opposite, but it's just that things are different now. And so we have greater access to some of them. Some of them are well hidden. We didn't get all of them, but I can tell you we got most of the pictures of who these people are. Put a face to it. Irvin says, Marlon, come plug out Sandy's computer. Child, Marlon, that business with nothing called CMR. He not yet to plug out nothing. But there it is. Unapologetic says, yo, you wild. No, I'm not wild. I'm just telling y'all the truth. The truth is not wild. The truth is just the truth. You say that too many high government officials would be on that register. That's why we need it. That's precisely why we need it. I ain't got no time for no child molesters. Listen, put them on the list. I don't give a shit who they are. Speaking of that, just the other day, last week, Friday, a man was convicted 6 years in prison for sexual assault of a teenager. I wish I could find his picture. His name is Richard Whittingham, Jamaican national, has been in the Cayman Islands for 20 years and has been sentenced to 6 years in prison for the sexual assault of a teenager. I hope a deportation order is in place when he's finished with his sentence so he can be kicked off this island. So he was charged with assault by penetration, gross indecency, engaging in sexual activity in the presence of a child, abuse of trust, and he was found guilty by a judge alone trial in the Grand Court earlier this year. The victim was known to him. He molested her while she was in his care. He denied the allegations, saying the child was antagonistic towards him. However, in handing down the verdict, Justice Cheryl Richards said that she found the child to be a credible witness, speaking the truth about him and about what he did to her. He was sentenced to 5.5 years for assault by penetration and 6 years for charges of gross indecency and performing a sexual act in the presence of a minor. The sentences will run concurrently, which I don't agree with, but there you go, meaning that he will serve the 6 years. There's also a sexual prevention harm order in place. A sexual harm prevention order was also imposed against him and is to last for 5 years upon his release from prison. He is to have no contact with the victim, whether directly or indirectly, and he cannot go within 100 meters of her. And he's also expected to be deported upon completion. Praise the Lord. Where's my hallelujah button?
Praise the Lord.
So he's got to go. Having said that, the people of Jamaica need to blacklist him, because trust me, if he's done it to this child, he's probably done it to others, and he will do it again. So y'all need to know, as soon as he enters back into Jamaica, wherever a little hole in the wall, and he can go out in the country and try to hide out, mark that name. Siobhan says 6 years ain't shit. I believe. Listen, I've been advocating forever for stiffer sentences for child molesters, and the MPs don't really care too much about that. So there you go. She said, why are the sentences for sexual offenses so little? Because our MPs don't prioritize that. Yeah. They can give you a minimum of 10 years in jail for a firearm offense, but we can't have any minimum sentences for sexual offenses against children. Make it make sense. Mm-hmm. Venice says, Sandy, you can't even go on the beach without these disgusting men be fasting at your little young kids and trying to chat with them, telling them stuff. I'm going to talk about that tomorrow, Venice, in the perspective of police patrolling on the beach. Remind me in case I forget, please. So yeah, his name is Ricardo, not Richard. Well, on the cause list, they had it as Richard, so I don't know. I mean, you know, we have to go off of what the court reports him as, because that would be what he was officially charged as. So maybe he went by Ricardo. I don't know, but his legal name looks like it was Richard. But if you have his picture, please send it to us, because I would love to. I would love to get his name up there. Mm-hmm. So they have him as Richard Whittingham in court. Okay. That's all she wrote. So we'll keep an eye on the on this case. Again, it could be the biggest fraud case, so we'll see how that goes. Giselle says the system is reactive, not proactive when it comes to MASH unit and social services, unfortunately. Do you know anything about civil servants that go to jail for committing wrongdoings on their previous government jobs? Can they get another job in government departments through the second chance program and maybe still be on their jobs acting if there's some sort of supervisor high up? I'll ask. I'm not really sure. I think in the name of, giving people second chances, government can hire someone with a record, but I would hope that certain things like fraud against the government would make you ineligible, but who knows? Urban says castration is what's needed for these sick bastards. I couldn't agree with you more. But, unfortunately, castration doesn't help as much as you think. I was working on a certification as a child victims advocate, and I think I might go back and actually complete it and just get it done. But one of the interesting things that people think, oh, just chop it off kind of mentality. Well, that's not what chemical castration is. Chemical castration can help reduce sexual urges, generally speaking. But if someone is attracted to children, they're going to be attracted to children, even if you castrate them. So I had, in our studies that we were doing, in our case studies, there's a guy who was talking about, he's a pedophile, and they interviewed them to kind of understand how they think and, what's going on in their sick heads. And he was talking about how, like, if he's at the beach, like, the person was just saying, if he's at the beach, he is attracted to little girls, even though he's been chemically castrated. So the physical response isn't as elevated or as high. He still has the urge to molest little girls. So if he sees them in the leotards or little bathing suit, he gets turned on. It's just that he can't now get an erection because of the castration. He's not physically able to get an erection. But he said, this is what the child molester said, that he would still molest her with an object if given the opportunity. And these guys, all molesters, when I say guys, I mean men and women, they operate on the basis of access to your children. That's why, as parents, I preach vigilance, hypervigilance. My husband thinks I'm crazy. When we travel, I'm on hyper alert. Even around family members, we go to Jamaica, no, honey child, my daughter not going in no bush in the country with nobody. I'm there. Playing in a house, I'm there. I'm a helicopter pilot, helicopter parent like that. And I know it sounds a little bit crazy, but it only takes a split second for something to happen to your child. And people groom your children. They groom you sometimes too. getting you to trust them. And so as parents, we have got to be on our guard 24/7 with your children. That's why I can understand why some of y'all want to lock them inside. You got to be on top of it. And what this guy was saying is the only real way to protect your children is to kind of know where they are at all times and keep them away from people like him. Because he's like, yes, if I see that little girl, my PP may no longer work, but I will molest her with an object and still get thrills off of that. I'll still get off on that. I was like, that is so disgusting. But that's the reality of it. And you need to listen to what these people say and listen to how they think and how they operate so that then you can take steps, preventative steps, because the key is to prevent your children from becoming victims. Once you shatter the glass and you break it, you know how hard it is? You can never put it back together. It will never be whole again. Don't destroy your children in their innocence because you as parents, not doing your job. Oh, it's crazy. Mello, I want to talk about this tomorrow. I need to start making my chat list for tomorrow because I want to talk about cashless systems. This is something that came up. Cashless communities. This is something that came up when I was in Miami and before hearing came out as well. So I'll talk about that. And your question then about cashing checks and stuff, let's address that at the same time as part of tomorrow's show. Okay. Vanessa says, yes, Sandra, I agree with you. I double protect my daughter and she's 21, still living with me. Irvin says, true, Miss Sandy, not only men, women too. Yeah, there are women predators out there. Siobhan says the only cure for them is to put them down permanently. Fresh Joe says you can be too careful with your kids, twisted world. I think you meant to say you can't be too careful with your kids, twisted world out there. Yes, Joe corrected that. Build a relationship of trust with your kids so they aren't afraid to share anything with you. Alv says parents need to pay attention to the way their children are dressing as well. Yes, for sure. All right. Urban Threads, I didn't get to answer this. But can we queue this question up for tomorrow as well? Because this is a very, very important question. I want to spend some time on that tomorrow. Cassius said earlier, that's the professional poor people mentality and expectation that everyone must facilitate their slackness by supporting them with everything. People need to take accountability for their own. And I'm all about that, Cassius. Yes, I could not agree with you more. I think he was referring to like school supplies and stuff like that. Romaine says, regardless, the government needs to invest in sports. And that's also a true statement. Miss Shirley says, my daughter is 24 years old, now a police officer, and I still try to know her movements. She thinks I'm crazy. Just tell her you're a parent. You're a parent that cares. So, yeah. All right, folks. That's all I got for you today. A little bit of overtime. Hope y'all are okay. Okay, I'll catch up on some messages. All right. So new school calendar. Okay. So again, if you need the calendar, I'm happy to send it to you. All right, folks. Thank you, guys, so much. Tomorrow morning, we'll be back at 7:30 and talk about other things, other relevant things that are happening in the community. I think we got through most of today's list. It's so funny. Cut back the show to 2 hours and we still end up going for 3 hours. The good news is, because I'm not 3 hours on the radio, I don't have to pay as much for radio time because y'all know I pay for the radio time, honey child. That's money out of Auntie's pocket. I'm just saying. The end goal one day is to have my own station and not have to pay anybody else for the time. So focus on my goals. Good people. Thank you all so much for tuning into the program today. Y'all have a beautiful day. Please be safe out there. Look out for your kids. Look out for other people's kids. Help with school supplies. Help each other if you can, but also be responsible. You can't go out there having the 5 and 50 million children and another 50 over here and dropping your sperm bank all over the place and expect that people are going to come to your rescue. You got to be responsible. That's the name of the game, accountability and responsibility. Everybody has to take responsibility for their actions. And so, wrap it up, get it snipped, do whatever you got to do so that you don't have a financial disaster in your hand because you keep having children that you cannot afford. On that note, y'all have a beautiful day. Stay blessed.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Cold Hard Truth on Bobo 89.1 FM. Cayman's #1 talk show is live weekdays from 7:30 a.m. Never miss an episode again. Watch anytime on CMR's Facebook and YouTube channels for the latest show episodes. Don't forget to follow us online on our social media channels and visit CaymanMarlRoad.com for all the latest news and community happenings.